was talking with Christian Yelich down on the field a little bit before the first pitch, and there was a group of fans started getting a chant going behind him, just saying "Home Run Derby, Home Run Derby." And Christian looks at us and goes, "This is every game for me."
They start chanting "Derby, Derby." And he just goes, "Every night."
Now, I don't think Christian is like super pumped about the fact that his Home Run Derby performance potentially would be so linked with me and Big Cat performing analingus on each other. But his teammates sure are, because like every brewer that I saw was like, he's gonna be the Home Run Derby, he's gonna win. All of them, they're all rooting for it. It's the most perverted team in baseball. Bunch of sickos. Welcome back to Macrodosing. It is Thursday. It's June 12th. We're back in studio. Me, Arian, Big T, Mad Dog, Mackenzie, all here in person. Today's episode is brought to you by Game Time. Baseball's back. There's nothing like getting to a baseball game, especially last minute. Lucky for me, I always use Game Time, the official ticketing partner of Barstool Sports. Game Time makes getting tickets faster, and it makes it easier. The prices on the app go down the closer it gets to showtime. Plus, the Game Time Picks feature makes it even easier to find the great deals on the seats that you want. Just pull up your chosen event, turn on the GT Picks setting at the top of the screen, or browse the best local Game Time Picks deals near you on your Game Time app homepage. If you're looking for tickets for the Braves later on this week, who are the Braves playing this weekend, Big T?
I actually don't know.
How about you mentioned Paul Skeens coming to Wrigley?
Yeah.
Paul
Friday,
Skeens,
I was just looking.
The Pirates at Wrigley Field on Friday, day game, 1:20, the most magical place in today's baseball. Get your ass to Wrigley Field, and you can do it with Game Time. How much are you looking at for tickets to get in to see Paul Skeens, maybe the best pitcher in MLB today?
$53, and that comes with the Cubs umbrella hat for the first 5,000 fans 21 or older in attendance.
Wow, we're doing Umbrella Hat Friday on Paul Skeens Day?
That's a must.
That is a must. Big T, I know you're thinking about getting out there.
Yeah.
If you
don't need me after 12:30 Friday.
Gotcha. If you make it out there, I grant you permission to skip work and go to that game if you bring me back an umbrella hat.
I'll do my best.
Okay, love it. And if you are buying tickets on Game Time, you should use the code MACRO, and you get $20 off that first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account, redeem code MACRO, MACRO, get $20 off. Download the Game Time app today. What time is it? Game time. All right, we're back in studio. Arian is live. Arian's always live, but he's live in studio now.
Facts.
We had a great trip up to Milwaukee, Wisconsin on Monday. Went up there for the Brewers-Braves game.
Yep.
Braves clocked them.
It wasn't a good showing, but that wasn't what the day was about, really.
The day was about friendship.
The day was about bonding with the new organization that, showed a lot of love.
Yeah, and they did show a lot of love to you up there.
They did. To you, too.
Yeah. It was very cool to see the stadium for the first time, and they were great hosts. We went down Bernie's Slide, which I was a little bit afraid to do because it's killed people before. It's got a body count. No, it just injured that Los Angeles Dodgers reporter. Broke like his collarbone, his ribs, maybe.
To be fair, that was user error.
Yeah. After going down the slide, I question how stupid you have to be to get severely injured on that slide.
I ain't gonna call the man stupid. I'm just gonna be like something's wrong with
I'm
him.
impressed he was able to even, one, slide all the way to that wall.
Yeah.
And two, with enough force still to break your collarbone.
I don't know why you would take it shoulder first.
Yeah. It was he didn't brace himself properly, but that's
wild.
okay.
Yeah. Hope he's doing well though,
But we had a great road trip up there. All of us went up, and Big T was gracious enough to man the wheel and to drive us up and back. We appreciate that, Big T.
You're welcome. I enjoyed being in charge of the car.
I could tell you did enjoy being in charge of the car.
Yeah.
You are already like a 47, 48-year-old dad of 3.
I've been telling you that for years.
I know, and I believe it 100%. Now, in fact, I made a list of things that Big T said on the road trip that are the most dad things that he said. He did not know that I was taking notes on what he said. Right off the bat, he said, come on, I want to get out of town before we get gas.
Well, the gas stations that are in Chicago are difficult to maneuver, and I wanted to get into the suburbs before we stopped for gas.
Yeah.
But we needed gas.
Okay, there was that also before we left. We're fixing to be late.
We're fixing
We
to
were.
be late.
And Big T,
we're not close to being late.
Big T was in the car 2 minutes before the call time to the car.
Yeah.
He said we need to be in the car, wheels up, 1:30.
I said we all agreed we were leaving at 1:30. I was in the car at 1:28. I find that remarkably reasonable.
And then he starts panicking, being like, "Where is everybody? Why aren't they here?" He starts FaceTiming Arian. Where's Arian?
Arian was y'all came 1:30, 1:31, 1:32. It's 1:30.
It's pretty good.
It's 1:36. We're sitting there, no Arian. He was just golfing away on the simulator. Had no clue we were supposed to be leaving, so that was justified.
Yeah, I didn't know anything about the time we were supposed to leave.
Yeah,
we discussed it in here.
By discussed, Big T said 1:30, and we were like, okay, and that was the discussion.
And see, I probably wasn't paying attention.
Yeah, it's fine. 1:30, 1:35 is fine to leave if you say 1:30.
I agree with that.
Big T also said, "Come on, these pigeons are fixing to get run over." Because there were birds that were in the road when we were leaving the parking lot.
That wasn't an exclamation. It was just more of a statement of the pigeons were not moving, and I was like, I'll run you over.
That's a good point. It was not I put the wrong inflection on that. I don't want to misinterpret that quote.
That was just a statement of fact.
It was more like those pigeons are fixing to get run over.
By the way, all of these we have not left the parking lot yet.
Yep. So then we get on the road, and Arian is trying to work the nav screen to put on. He's trying to hack Big T's playlist and put on a different song, and Big T just goes, "You keep that on my directions."
Fair.
Yep. Then we were driving. Big T was in the left lane, the passing lane, and there were cars that were passing us on the right. And we were telling Big T, "Yo, this lane's for passing, Big T." And he said the speed limit is 55.
And I was going like 65.
I've got the direct quote here.
Okay.
I'll read you the direct quote.
Okay.
The speed limit's 55. I'm going 61. I'm going 6 over the speed limit, and you're complaining.
Perfectly reasonable. Also, the only reason I was in the left lane was because this was immediately after we got onto the highway. Y'all, it'd been 90 seconds.
Yep. Then he said, "I'm not stopping for the bathroom, and I'm certainly not stopping for a cheese castle."
Y'all wanted to go to some cheese castle in Wisconsin, which had we had more time, I would have been happy to stop. I may not have been happy to stop. I would have.
That ended up being a good call.
Correct.
We were there a little earlier, and then they let us all go down the slide.
Yes, so if given the choice between Bernie Brewer's slide and the cheese castle, I feel like we made the right call.
It's just, for me, if I'm driving down the road and I see a cheese castle,
I would
come hell or high water.
Under
I'm
different
stopping.
circumstances, we would have experienced the cheese castle.
I mostly felt bad for Mackenzie and Mad Dog because they wouldn't take their eyes off the cheese castle. We drove past it and they just kept following it.
Hey.
And turned backwards. They're like, there's the castle.
If y'all had been in the car a little earlier, we might have been at the cheese castle.
Oh, sorry, I was editing this podcast.
Oh. Yeah,
Now
Big
what?
T. She's sorry.
That has nothing to do with it.
Mad Dog and Mackenzie were like, we could be princesses of the cheese castle.
Oh, God.
I do agree, though. I will take the slide over the cheese castle.
Yeah. I said we need to go just run that route again, and we found a lot of good stops. We need to just go to all of the stops.
I am going to Gurney Mills at some point soon.
Six Flags.
The whole office needs to go to Six Flags.
I agree.
I didn't know there was a Six Flags up here.
Yeah, and then after we left, Big T goes, because we were trying to get him to stop at Quick Trip on the way back.
The fake Quick Trip, it should be noted. KWIK, not the real Quick Trip, for those who know QT.
So we were trying to stop at the Quick Trip, and Big T goes, your behavior over the course of the next 45 minutes will determine whether or not we stop at the Quick Trip.
And luckily for y'all, you were good enough to warrant a stop at the Quick Trip.
Also, Big T curated a playlist, which I got to give credit. The playlist was pretty solid. I thought it was a good road trip playlist. I could have done with maybe like 1 or 2 dozen fewer Morgan Wallen songs. But
I told you, you hit Light Wallen on the way up there. There was going to be more coming back.
Conservatively speaking, I'd say that we had 8, maybe 9 Morgan Wallen songs.
Oh, more than that.
Yeah.
I'll count right now, I'll tell you.
There was a good amount of MW on there.
There was. It wasn't until night fell and we were well into on the way back where we heard some bass.
Yeah.
But that's when we needed it.
Yeah, that is true.
Yeah.
That's what we needed to
Yeah,
wake
he
us
ended
up.
up. He switched up the whole vibe. Played Dreams and Nightmares
That's true.
by Meek.
Only 11 Wallin on there.
Got it.
Only.
That's a lot.
That's not. I would have guessed it was 15 or more.
That's a decent amount of Morgan.
And then we detoured, dropped PFT off.
Yeah, PFT made us
Well-
go out of our way
well,
to drop him off at his front door.
Hang on 1 second. Hang on 1 second now. You switched it up. You did put on Dreams and Nightmares, which changed up the vibe on the way back, which was needed, I think. But the reason why he put on that song is because it reminded him of a Tennessee football game against Vanderbilt.
No, I told a story. First of all, we lost that game. It's not a happy memory. Secondly, I told the story.
Was that 05?
No, this was.
They lost after us?
Oh yeah, dude. This was 2017 or 18. 18.
I didn't know that they got us that late.
It's got to be post Dreams and Nightmares coming out. When did that song come out? 2014?
I was gonna guess
say
12.
before that, yeah, maybe 11 or
Okay.
12.
It's a great song. I regrettably have to admit that's a fantastic song.
After you got out of the car, we did a little King Von till we got.
Oh yeah,
to
we
the
did King.
office.
We did King Ball until we got back.
I was so mad when I got out because as I'm getting out, you guys both said it's King Von hours,
Yeah,
and I was like, that's gonna be a great ride home.
yeah. And then I honked, and you
Yeah,
definitely flinched.
I flinched a little bit. So I don't think it's too out of bounds for me to have said that, like, on the way back, I was like, Big T, don't be crazy if you just like took this exit and then dropped me off by my house and then you went back to the office. I didn't ask you to do it. I said it'd be crazy.
It was crazy.
It was crazy. It was probably like a all-in 6-minute detour.
We were
There and back,
I
3
vividly
minutes there,
remember
3
when,
back.
when you said that and we were on the highway. We were 6 minutes from the office. After we dropped you off, which took an additional 5, we were 8 minutes away.
Yeah.
So it was probably close to a 10-minute excursion.
Well, I
Easily.
appreciate it.
Yeah.
I appreciate it. By the way, since we brought up Meek Mill, I just want to revisit his best tweet of all time, February 28th, 2024. When I got a girl around me, I'm fucking her twice a day. Lol. Ask some of your favorites. Pussy don't control me, but it's like a high. One love to the gay people, but that juicy pussy do it for me. I done ran red lights to get that feeling. Y'all weird on here like devils. Lol.
When
That was all one tweet.
Yeah.
Oh.
All one tweet.
Unprompted.
I don't know if you could say unprompted. I think there was a discussion.
He's trying to dodge some allegations.
Yeah, there's some discussion regarding Meek Mill and his proclivities, and so he just
Much love to the gays.
much love. Listen, I got love for gay people, but for me, I'm all about that pussy. You know me. You know me.
When you,
You know me,
read
guys.
LOL, do you usually say lol?
No, I just did it in this circumstance.
Got it.
What do you say?
LOL.
I think either one's acceptable.
Now the kids, LOL means like you hate them.
Yeah, my
Mhm.
daughter was explaining that to me. There's a few things I don't really understand nowadays. God damn it.
And then he said, somebody told him, Meek, you have the right to remain silent after that tweet about how much he loves pussy. He goes, I have the right to say I ain't gay, and I'll trash anybody that play with my manhood. Okay, I get that.
I don't.
Do you remember when Mike Piazza held a press conference to announce that he's straight?
What? No.
Yeah. There are rumors, allegations, conversations behind the scenes. I think they ended up just being rumors. I don't know. I don't particularly care whether or not Mike Piazza is a gay man or not, but he did a press conference to be like, I am straight. I thought that was a great press conference.
I think if you have to hold a press conference, if you have to announce it, odds are you've dabbled. And there's nothing wrong with dabbling.
Nothing wrong with dabbling.
Dabble away, folks.
So yeah, it was a great road trip up there, and then we get up to the stadium. They have us do Bernie slide, which was a real treat. I've never heard Mackenzie laugh as much as I did when she was on the slide. She was having the time of her life.
It was the best.
Yeah, you had a great time on there. I took a video. I don't think I sent that to the group, but there's a video where you're going down the slide, and it's like a blind corner, so you can't see the person until they reach the home stretch of the slide. And I just heard Mackenzie laughing, just giggling for like 5 seconds until she comes into view, just laughing her head off. Had a fantastic time. I think you said that like you want to get married by the slide.
No, literally, I would. The
Yeah.
after party of the wedding is at the slide.
Is that the slide? Then we took a little stroll down to the tailgate, and we got to chop it up with some people that were tailgating there. That's what's great about the Brewers Stadium is there's a tailgate parking lot where people pull up with grills and coolers and stuff. Arian had a couple spotted cows.
I did.
Enjoyed them.
I did.
I enjoyed them also. Then we walk back and go down to the field where we're waiting to see Arian throw his first pitch. Arian had been practicing all day too. We brought out the
All day's a stretch.
Big T and you were working for a couple hours.
I threw a couple of them things.
How did you feel at the office when you were getting warmed up?
I feel like Big T helped because there was a technical error. You know what I mean? Like it's technical, and I didn't really understand what I was doing wrong.
The mechanics?
Yeah, the mechanics of throwing. It's kind of similar to throwing a football, but it's a little different because of the weight distribution, all that, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And so once we figured out what I was doing wrong, what was it? My arm was beating my body.
Yeah, you were moving your arm too quick and then pulling it down, and that's why it was bouncing.
And it kept bouncing.
Mm-hmm.
And so I just had to like flip the shoulders a little faster, let the body lead, and then I started throwing darts.
You were throwing some darts.
Yeah.
Big T was throwing some darts.
Yeah, Big T got an arm.
You
I might need to get back on the mound.
You want to talk about darts? You were humming that sucker in there, throwing strikes.
I just wanted. I need to know how hard I was throwing.
We do have a radar gun.
Oh, y'all do?
Do we really?
I think so. I don't know if it's still in the office. We used to have one.
Oh, we may need to break it out.
I don't know if it's calibrated or not, but yeah, at one point we did have one. But yeah, Big T was very impressive. In fact, I thought it was like getting in Arian's head how much better you were in the warm-ups. But
No.
Arian, when you got there,
I can see this.
when you got there, I could tell you were locked in. Got to see your buddy Bourbon
Yeah, that's my dog.
down on the field. Who did you meet?
Let's see. Sal Freelick,
Mm-hmm.
Bryce Terrain. I met Yelich. I met Jackson Churio.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was cool because that's my dog.
And then we were waiting out there for Arian to throw his first pitch, and then I got a little surprised when Christian Yelich came out with a baseball and put it in my hand and said, "You're throwing 1-2 PFT," which I fully expected this type of subterfuge and sneakery from Big T and Arian, but the fact that Mad Dog and McKenzie kept this a secret, I was very disappointed in the two of you. Very, very disappointed.
I was so excited to keep that secret.
Now, I was like a little bit nervous because I was not expecting to do that, but I wanted Arian to like get this. We're making the Arian trip, so I want to make sure it was cool with him.
Yeah, it was a very much like good guy PFT moment.
Well, I mean, this is Arian's squad, ride or die with the Brewers.
Facts.
And I also felt a little bit extra nervous because all day long I had been telling Arian that he's going to bounce it. No, excuse me. I've been saying you're definitely not going to bounce it. No bounces.
You wanted me to bounce it.
I wanted you to bounce it pretty bad. Yeah. And so I'd been talking shit to him, be like, if it were me throwing it, I'd throw it 72 miles per hour right down the dick.
Yeah.
I'd whip back a fastball. And I was kind of talking shit to you, challenging you to throw it harder. And then Uno reverse card, I had to do it too.
Yep.
But
You was nervous?
I was a little bit nervous in the moment,
Right.
just because, mostly because I've been talking so much shit to you beforehand.
Yeah. I was hoping you fucked that shit
I
up.
know,
Yeah.
but that's how buddies root for each other,
100%.
right?
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
I wasn't gonna be like, "Come on, Arian, you can do this."
Yeah, no, that's whack.
Wow, I'm so proud of you, Arian.
No,
That was us.
Yeah, that was big time. So then we go out there, we throw our first pitches, and no bounces.
No bounces.
No bounces on this
This
podcast.
was a little high.
That you don't know how tall the batter would have been, where the strike zone would be.
I do. He'd have been taller than you.
That's true. That's the other thing is I looked very small on that mound. I think I saw the video, and when Mad Dog took the video or McKenzie from the first baseline, theirs was like way more zoomed out than it was when Arian went to the mound. And I'm looking at myself. I'm like, surely I'm gonna start to appear bigger at some point when I go out there. And I think they zoomed out as I was going out there. And I looked like a tiny speck of a human being, and just an all-time 6-year-old fit that I was wearing.
Yeah, that fit was. And you walked around Milwaukee with the Arian Foster shirt on.
Yeah, so I was rocking the Arian Foster because I'm there to support my boy. It's a great shirt, the old school like airbrush style Arian Foster shirt, and so I'm rocking that. And then they gave us all jerseys, all uniforms to wear, so I put that on, and then they gave us the giant straw hats to put on too.
Yeah.
And so now I'm wearing a combination of like a swimsuit my airbrushed Arian Foster T-shirt, an unbuttoned Christian Yelich jersey, and a giant straw hat that you would use to like pick agave.
Man had all the different kind of fabrics on.
Yeah, it was even for me, who's like I'm an all-time bad fit guy. This was maybe the worst that I've seen.
Max Talente tweeted, he was like, it only makes sense for PFT to throw his first pitch in the most PFT outfit of all time.
It was completely by accident. But Arian, you went out there. You did not throw yours high like I did. Yours was a legit strike.
I threw a strike.
It was a strike.
About
It was soft.
25 miles an hour.
It was not 25. It was way more than 25.
So
How hard do you think you threw it?
It was a good 40.
You lobbed it, which is
Hey.
fine. That's all we needed.
Hey.
It was in the strike zone.
They won't remember the lob. They would remember the bounce.
100%. Oh, I agree.
that's true.
Yeah.
Now I had Quiggs look at the videos of you and I
Okay.
and calculate the speed, the miles per hour
Okay.
Wow.
on the pitch. And now this is the miles per hour, I guess, over the course of the pitch. That's how he did the math.
You
So-
definitely did. You kind of went after it.
Well, so the miles per hour that he gave me, it's like if you took the average miles per hour of the pitch. That's what it is. It's not like at its.
You're talking physics now. I
Yeah,
got you.
in baseball for a pitcher, Big T, where do they measure the
Well,
MPH?
this is a controversy. So all the old pitchers claim that when they were throwing, it was clocked at home plate.
Mm-hmm.
And now they say it's clocked out of the hand.
So it's faster out of the
Right,
hand.
yeah.
Okay, all right. So this is the average miles per hour for each pitch. Arian, you threw your first pitch 37.15 miles per hour.
I was close.
Okay.
I was close.
I threw my first pitch 53.43 miles
you
per
put
hour,
you put a little stink on there.
which might be 72 kilometers per hour, maybe.
Might be or is?
Might be.
Okay.
I don't know. Maybe I think that might even be a little bit. It was not 72. But that was a great time. It was a
Yeah.
fantastic experience.
It
And
was
then the food was pretty good too.
That's 85 kilometers per hour.
85 kilometers per hour. It sounds way cool. And how fast was Arian's in kilometers per hour?
His was 37,
His was 37.15.
59.
59
I like that.
kph.
I'm gonna go with that. 59 kilometers per hour.
It sounds way better when you're putting in kph.
100.
So yeah, it was a good road trip. The game, congrats to your Braves.
Yep, the one game they've won in the last week and a half or so.
Yeah, which is wild. We needed that shit.
Chris Sale had a great game.
He's a monster.
So explain to me with Chris Sale the uniform cutting story, because I'd forgotten about that until you brought it up. This is when he was on the White Sox, right? Back in like 2016.
Yeah, let me make sure I have all the details correct.
Okay, Chris Sale, kind of a psycho.
Yeah, but great guy.
Most starting pitchers are kind of a psycho.
Chris Sale finally explains why he snapped and shredded throwback jerseys. Well, the story is, from my understanding, he showed up on the day he was supposed to pitch, and the White Sox were going to wear their throwback uniforms.
I think it wasn't just the throwbacks. I think it was the throwbacks that were shorts too. Remember the White Sox had those?
Shorts.
They had like shorts incorporated in their throwback uniforms.
In July 2016, the White Sox were set to wear their 1976 throwback jerseys, which had large collars. The team had worn them the year before as well. However, when game time arrived, the White Sox were not wearing their throwbacks, but we're not wearing their 76 throwbacks, but their 1983 throwbacks instead. While speaking on the compound, Sale's 2024 teammate Zach Short finally asked Braves ace Chris Sale what happened to him that let him destroy the ugly throwback jerseys. Sale mentioned they had worn the jerseys the season before, and he hated them so much that he refused to even get fitted for them. He didn't think they'd perform well wearing the uniform, and being the competitor that he was, felt it was in the best interest of the team if they just didn't wear them. Sale advocated for the 1980s throwbacks instead, but the White Sox declined. He showed up early for his start and saw the jerseys hanging up. He once again asked the clubhouse manager if they could just wear the other throwbacks instead, but once again his request was denied. After being told he had to wear the jerseys, he realized that if he wanted to win, he had to destroy them. He took a knife that was in his locker and shredded it from the middle. He told the clubhouse manager his jersey was ruined and to try to convince him to switch out the jerseys, but he was then hit with a twist. The team had extra jerseys and could just make him a new one. So then I think he went and did more.
He shredded more?
He calculated that while the White Sox had a few extra jerseys, they didn't have 26 of them. If he destroyed enough of the jerseys, there'd be no way for the team to use them. So he went back, grabbed his knife, and began destroying nearly every jersey in the clubhouse. In the end, he said 4 jerseys survived the massacre, which he signed afterwards.
I love that. That's such a good story.
That's wild.
I mean, I understand if you're a pitcher, you have to be comfortable, right?
And usually, I believe most teams, I think in the majors, they have, like, I know the Braves, every Friday they wear the City Connect. Every Sunday they wear, or every Friday they wear red. Every Saturday they wear City Connect, so on. But I think a lot of teams, if they don't have something they have to wear, let the starting pitcher choose.
Yeah.
Because, like, whatever, that guy's the most important guy out there.
Yeah,
so.
if his, like, collar is uncomfortable, if the arms don't fit good, then, yeah, it could actually affect his performance.
Yeah.
There goes the win, just because your stupid uniforms that you want to make an extra, like, $20,000 off of in sales that day.
Also, if you have a 4.72 ERA, you don't get to cut up jerseys. But if you're Chris Sale and you demand and you say, hey, I don't pitch well in this, and they say we're wearing it, then you got to do what you got to do.
Right now, Big T, have you ever dealt with a team where what their current ERA is makes you reconsider what is a good ERA?
A team
Yeah,
ERA?
for example, like the Nationals.
Okay.
When you said 4.72 ERA, I was like, it's not that bad.
Well, I was talking about just one guy.
I know,
but
I know.
For a team it's not good, but it's not horrific.
So you guys got the win, Big T. Matt Olson went yard. Got to say hi to Matt down there too.
Yep.
Big T got very, very upset at me because I didn't immediately bring Big T over and be like, Matt, this is Big T.
No,
Big
that's
T.
not
Because you guys
true.
had already met each other.
Right, yeah. And you went over and talked to him for a little while, and I wasn't really paying attention. Then you came back, and I jokingly said, like, oh, you didn't. That's okay.
Mm-hmm.
But then, so then you put it on me. You were like, hey, Matt, Big T said he wanted to whatever. Great guy. Awesome. We had a nice conversation.
Yeah, you guys chopped it up a little bit. I also got an authentic game-worn Arian Foster jersey from one of the fans that brought that to the game. He handed it to me. Some dude got a white T-shirt and then with black magic marker made it into a Houston Texans Arian Foster jersey.
I think we have it.
Front and back, and I think the arm numbers too. Is this it right here?
Yeah.
Let me hold this up. If you're watching on YouTube, check it out. This is game-worn, authentic Arian Foster jersey. Houston Texans. There he is right there. Texans 23. Foster. We should hang this. Can we get this framed? We should get this framed.
Mans came to the game with that. That's hilarious.
So, anything else from the game you guys want to talk about?
I just enjoyed it, man. That shit was fun.
We were sitting right next to Unkzuna.
Yeah.
Yeah. Unkzuna. Listen, I'd seen Unkzuna around. I didn't know that his name was Unkzuna.
I think that when he first got on the broadcast this year, Brandon Gautin, the play-by-play guy, called him that.
Okay.
Or
so
maybe
it's a new one?
I think it was Unkzuna and Fozuna were the two that they called him.
I might have heard Fozuna before.
Yeah.
But Unkzuna is a great, because he is an Unk. You look at him, you're like,
Yeah.
that's Unk right there. And that guy is dedicated.
Yeah, he's the best.
He is locked in.
He was in full uniform, flip down shades, and like he was sitting right behind the on deck circle. So at the end of the game, when like some people left because it was 7-1, he just walked right down and like gave a hat tip to Ozuna, and Ozuna turned around and was talking to him.
Mm-hmm.
Good time.
Great time. Then they asked me to run in the sausage race, which I did. We don't have to talk about that. Not my best performance. Whatever.
Got smoked.
I did get smoked. But I also wasn't trying to run super fast because once you put that sausage on,
Yeah.
it's so top heavy, and if you fall, you're gonna get hurt. And everybody else in that race was like a 21-year-old marketing intern for the Brewers, like spry collegiate athlete looking. So I was like, I'm just gonna try to not get hurt on this.
Yeah.
Some say I came in last place, others say that I came in second to last place. You be the judge, but I just didn't get hurt, so I consider myself a winner.
I was proud of you.
And then you guys were holding the finish line. Whatever the sausage was that came in first place was fast as fuck.
Yeah, he was moving though.
Yeah.
Mans was moving.
So yeah, good time.
On the way back, I put it in the group chat. It was the video of Big T singing. I don't know what song that is, but there's a lot of fiddles in there.
Devil went down to
Devil
Georgia.
went down to Georgia.
Okay, yeah. There's so much fiddle.
Yeah, Big T crushed that. I done told you once, you son of a bitch, I'm the best that's ever been.
Fire on the mountain, run, boy, run.
Yeah.
Devil's in the house of the rising sun. You'd never heard that before?
I'm sure maybe like in passing, but
All
like,
time cut.
never from the beginning to the end.
We were talking about like top 25 country songs ever. That's top 10.
It's one of the most iconic.
Holy shit.
Devil went down to Georgia. He was looking for soul to steal.
He was
in the
rapping.
mines,
He wasn't
way
singing.
behind. He's looking to make a deal.
What year was that made?
Let me guess.
Okay.
1977.
Let's see.
I have it.
What is it?
Does anybody else want to guess?
I don't even know.
I see it now.
79.
Pretty close.
Pretty good.
Mad Dog McKenzie, you guys have anything else from the road trip that you want to talk about?
No, it was a fun road trip. Big T kept saying though, like, this isn't. We need to go on like a cross country or like
Not cross country.
10+ hour road
I'd
trip
like
together.
to do.
Like Knoxville, he said. You mentioned.
I'd like to do an 8 to 10. Yeah, maybe 10. 8 to 10 hour.
Like road trip with the crew, which I think would be fun.
If we're rotating drivers, obviously.
Yeah. And then we all got the jerseys, like you guys said. I'm framing my jersey because it has my name on it.
Your frame, did it say Mad Dog?
It says Madeline.
That's nicer, yeah.
I know. But it's like, how many jerseys am I ever going to get gifted to me that have my name on them? Like, that's sick.
Maybe a couple more.
I don't know if we keep doing this once a
Right.
season. Probably a few.
Arian, get a new team next year.
Yeah.
I cannot do that.
We'll
No,
do the
he-
Braves next year, then the Nationals.
Arian's a Brewers fan.
These
True.
are facts.
That
True.
is a fact.
But, like, that was so cool to
It was
get,
a
like, a
good
jersey with her name on it. And Mackenzie and I got to sign baseballs for people, which was really
Yeah.
yeah,
sick.
you guys were
Yeah.
tickled.
Yeah, I feel bad. It's
Celebs.
probably devalued.
I know.
With
But
our
I like would
signatures on
hand
it.
over the baseballs. They're like, no, we want you to sign it. So I'm like, how the hell do I even sign a base? Like, I don't have a signature. How do I sign a baseball?
You don't have a signature?
Oh,
But like, I signed all of these lovely, lovely Macrodosians were so kind and were like, I'd love your autograph, which is crazy because I'm not famous. But then I'm like, I signed it like I signed like a debit card purchase. Like I don't have like an autograph.
business, yeah.
Yeah, like I don't have like a.
Rule of thumb: big first name, big letter, scribble. Second name, big letter, scribble.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
it looked like I signed for a Zara purchase, and I'm like, so sorry, but that's my real signature.
Oh, I do want to give a shout out to Macrodosian Nate.
Yeah,
Oh, the
Macrodo-
man.
Macrodosian
Which one's
Nate.
Nate?
Wow,
Is that
yeah.
a parking lot?
Yeah, brought
Yes.
us maybe the best present that we could ever
Yeah, that
get.
was lit. Yeah.
He rolled up there and had, I don't know how many dollars worth, but probably, so there were 3 of these packs.
Oh,
right
more.
here, right?
5 or 6 of those.
I'm gonna guess like maybe $250 worth of touch tune credits.
at least.
Maybe $400 worth of touch tune credits.
So that's 5 credits times how many cards? There's probably 30 in there.
I'd say that probably like 25 in here.
All right, so that's 125 credits, and there were like 6 of those packs.
Yeah.
So like 800.
So we got all the
What's
touch
a
tune.
Touch Tunes credit cost?
Couple bucks.
Yeah, it's just what an incredible gift that was.
Yeah.
And then when I was talking with Christian Yelich down on the field a little bit before the first pitch, and there was a group of fans started getting a chant going behind him, just saying "Home Run Derby, Home Run Derby." And Christian looks at us, he goes, "This is every game for me."
It was. He go. They start chanting Derby, Derby. And he just goes every night.
Now, I don't think Christian is like super pumped about the fact that his home run derby performance potentially would be so linked with me and Big Cat performing analingus on each other. But his teammates sure are, because like every brewer that I saw was like, he's gonna be the home run derby, he's gonna win. All of them, they're all rooting for it. They're a bunch of, it's the most perverted team in baseball. Bunch of fucking sickos. But it was very nice.
What are you gonna do, dog?
I'm not gonna think about it.
We're only a few weeks away from them announcing who's in it.
He's not gonna be in it. He's not gonna be in it. I'm just.
And you
telling myself
know,
that.
If he's in it, you gonna go?
I don't know.
you know. Oh, if
I'm
he's
trying
in
to
it,
pull
we're
up.
going
I gotta
because it's
pull
in
up.
Atlanta.
Yeah, I gotta pull up.
There are people at Major League Baseball
That know
that
about
are
it.
aware of this.
And they're
Yes.
probably not happy about it. I think it probably makes them less likely to put Christian Yelich
I
in the
think
home
it
run
would
derby.
be the most watched home run derby
Yeah, if you care
since
about ratings.
1998.
I don't think that baseball cares about that. I think
You think baseball doesn't care how many people are watching the home run derby?
it's called America's pastime, not America's ass time, Big T.
Maybe not for much longer.
Yeah.
How long has this bet been going?
Since
2018, I want to
So
say.
is this the first year since like way back then that it's been like feasible?
Yeah, I
That
think
he's been like playing his best?
there was one year where he was just on fire, and
Okay.
he was definitely going to be in the Derby, and
Okay.
he might have won the Derby, and I want to say that might have been 2019.
Mhm.
And then he tweaked his back, I think, right before the All-Star break. So he was like, I'm not going to do it because
Yeah.
I'll just recover over that
Mhm.
span. This year he's been pretty good.
Mhm.
I'd say this is the closest we've been since then.
Got it.
We also got to teach Arian a fun fact about baseball. And by the way, Arian you have a thirst for knowledge, my friend, when it comes to the sport of baseball.
Which I love.
Yeah, he was asking Big T all these questions. Big T was like leaning over to him, being like, "See that runner? I bet you $1 trillion he's going to try to steal second base."
I asked Arian if he wanted to bet $1 million that Ozzy Albies was going to steal on a 3-2 count with 2 outs.
Oh,
And then
yeah.
he takes off, and Arian goes, "How'd you know that?"
Yeah. Yes.
Reese Hoskins just went yard.
Reese, I was torn between Reese Hoskins and Contreras. I swear to
That would have
God.
been so great if that was.
God
Contreras.
damn.
So yeah, Big T was sharing his wealth of knowledge with Arian. Arian was soaking it up like a sponge. And maybe my favorite thing that we talked about was the mud that they use on the baseballs.
Yeah, this is interesting as shit.
So I looked it up. The mud, every team, they get all the balls for each game, and then they rub the balls down with mud.
Mm-hmm.
And they do that to take some of the slipperiness. It makes it more grippy. It also discolors the ball a little bit. Not much, but it's meant to take some of that real slippery surface off the ball and make it easier for the pitchers to grip. So the mud that each MLB team uses comes from one family. It's a guy named John Haas, and John Haas left the company to his son-in-law, Burns Bentliff, who then selected one of his 9 children, Jim Bentliff. Jim Bentliff is the man who goes out to the Delaware River. It's on the New Jersey side of the Delaware River, and he harvests this mud. He comes back with 1,000 pounds of mud every year, and then he stores it over the wintertime and sells it the following baseball season. He said, if anybody happens to catch me in the act of harvesting mud, I come up with a story to give them a reason I'm putting mud in a bucket. I've told people I use it in my garden. I use it for my rose bushes. I use it for bee stings and poison ivy. Any kind of story to throw them off the scent. So then this guy, he sells the mud to Major League Baseball, and they give them to all the teams, and then each team has a guy that rubs the mud all over the baseball for, I think, 20 seconds is the most that they're allowed to rub the baseballs with. 20 seconds per ball.
There's a time limit?
I believe so, yeah.
This is weird.
Yep. So it coats the ball with an adhesive residue, and it enhances friction a little bit. Also, some NFL teams use the mud.
Really?
Yeah. So they've tried to automate it. They've tried to automate the process to make it like, hey, maybe we shouldn't be so dependent on this one guy's mud as a league. And it's all been just shitty. It's been shitty mud, shitty baseballs that they've come up with. They haven't figured out a way to match this guy's magic mud.
Where is this? Where did you say?
It's on the Jersey side of the Delaware River somewhere.
And we don't know.
Mm-mm.
So every Major League Baseball that has been in play since what?
Let's see when this started. So the original guy died in 1968, but he was harvesting before then. The 1950s. But since the 1950s, every Major League Baseball team has been using this one family's mud.
That is so weird, dog.
Yeah, pretty crazy.
30 MLB teams receiving 10 pounds of mud at the start of each season.
Mm-hmm.
Do we know what that costs? Like, he could be charging...
Anything.
Yeah.
So in 2009, they got
inelastic demand.
Yeah.
the guy said in 2009 that the company brings in only, what would you guess?
So this is the only thing they do?
I don't think it's the only thing they do, but it's one thing they do.
It should be the only thing they do.
I agree.
I mean, you said each team buys 10 pounds?
10 pounds at the beginning of the season.
And that lasts the whole year.
That's the whole year, apparently.
So he's only selling 30 of those buckets.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he should be charging $100,000 a bucket.
His company brings in $20,000 per year
That's insane.
What?
for the mud. I think this is a guy that knows that, like, push come to shove, if I asked for $500,000 for Major League Baseball, they'd probably just say, we'll buy mud from another person.
At this point, I don't know that they would.
Because then if there's, like, if the pitching isn't good at the start of that year or a couple batters get hit, it's because they went with new mud.
And guys would notice.
Yeah, oh yeah, for sure. This mud's not good.
I gotta charge $1 million a bucket.
$1 million a bucket? If you try to charge $1 million a bucket, they'll say no. But then
I don't know that they would.
The second somebody gets hit in the head, you're like, that's because they didn't use my
Wrong mud.
That's bad mud. They cheaped out
Like
on the mud.
there's no way you don't charge more.
Yeah.
Like this is a league that spends money.
Now this is also 2009 that he said $20,000 a year, so it could have gone up since then. If he's pulling in less than $50,000 a year right now, I'm very disappointed.
Does he have a day job?
I think he does.
I couldn't go into an office knowing that I'm only getting $20,000 a year off of every baseball being used in Major League Baseball.
Mm-hmm. How much is that per ball?
Way less than a penny.
Yeah, it's disgusting. He's getting taken to the cleaners on this, ironically.
Let's see how many baseballs are used in MLB in a season. 300,000.
300,000, and he's getting $20,000 a year. Well, I'm not that good at math.
This is wild.
Mm-hmm.
That's 6 cents a ball.
6 cents a ball. It's disgusting. Taking advantage of this guy. Make it right, MLB. Do the right thing. All right, Big T, what do we have on today's news that we want to talk about?
Did you see Aaron Rodgers is married to a mystery woman?
To a mystery woman. That makes it sound hot.
Yeah.
Mystery woman. Try to find her. Don't try to find her. Yeah, apparently they got married, a few months ago?
That's what he said, yeah.
So he is, are we going to get happy Aaron Rodgers? Are we going to get too happy Aaron Rodgers? Is he going to be too pleased with his personal life?
Who knows?
He's not happy, yeah. He's not happy. I do want to know what the ceremony looked like, though. I want to know how much he had to pick out. I want to know if she's a witch like his old girlfriend was. Remember that girl? He was dating a witch named like Mystery Blue or something like that for a while. I want to know what she's all about.
Did he invite his family?
Oh, good question. Great question. So he's married now, and he is a Pittsburgh Steeler. Arian, how do you think Aaron is going to be on the Pittsburgh Steelers? He's 41.
What kind of weapons he got?
DK Metcalf.
Oh,
that's pretty good. What's his name? Darnell Washington at tight end. He's huge. He's like 6'8".
Yeah, coming off of Achilles, correct?
Achilles, a year and a half ago.
He gonna have a average year.
Okay. Well,
I'm rooting for him. He's one of my favorite quarterbacks of all time.
If the Steelers can get an average year out of Aaron, I think they'd be happy with that, right?
But I think he was playing. I don't think he was playing bad when I saw him for the Jets.
Yeah, he had statistically a decent season.
Yeah, I think he had the one he was healthy. It was like comparable to somebody who went to the Pro Bowl. I forget, but he had a good year.
Yeah, he had a decent year last year for sure.
Yeah, I think he's gonna have an average season.
Yep. Well, I think Pittsburgh would be very, very happy with that.
You know, he was dying for somebody to ask about his wedding ring because I think he wore it out onto the field like to throw.
Oh yeah. So yeah, he did that. He did that on purpose.
Oh, one more thing about the Brewers game. I had put out a tweet a long time ago about I was watching the Brewers game at my house, and there was this kid. The Brewers were getting mopped, and there was this kid who caught a home run ball from the other team, and he was a Brewers fan, and he threw the ball back, and he just was like, "Fuck!" He was frustrated as shit.
Yeah, you met the fuck guy.
Yeah, and I had tweeted that out because I was like, "Yo, my man's just pissed."
Mm-hmm.
He came up to me at the game. He's like, "Do you remember me?" I was like, I remember it exactly. I was like, "That's crazy."
I'm the guy that said fuck.
I'm the guy that said fuck.
Yeah.
That was cool. Shout out to you, bro. If you listening.
That was great.
That was a good moment.
Big T, did you have the U.S. men's national team on your list?
No. Do you want to talk about it?
You want to talk a little soccer?
I mean, we're cooked.
We lost 4-0 to Switzerland.
And it was 4-0 at the half.
Now, Switzerland is not a powerhouse country.
Do they? I don't know that I know a single player on Switzerland.
I don't think they had a soccer team until yesterday.
Is Shaqiri Swiss?
Is he? I don't know.
I think he's from one of those countries.
Now, we did have like a B-list roster. Does that make you feel any better?
Shaqiri is Swiss. Was he playing?
I don't know. Does it make you feel better, though, that we weren't starting our good players?
No.
And then there's a lot of speculation whenever it comes to U.S. soccer. Who's making the decision? Is it the U.S. Soccer Federation? Is it the coach, Pochettino? The coach said that he blamed himself. He said, it's my decision. It didn't work. It's my fault. We played with many players who made their debut. We need to take the pressure off them. We are here to help. Not looking very optimistic. The World Cup will be hosted in Canada, the United States, and Mexico in about 12 months.
Sorry, I was counting. I count 9 like real players on the roster.
Okay.
Which is enough that you should not only not be losing to Switzerland 4-0, you shouldn't be losing to Switzerland, period.
I mean, we've made the Gold Cup finals before with like MLS, decent players. Not looking good. Not looking good for the U.S. men's national team.
Also, the uniforms this year are horrific.
They always are. We haven't had a good
Museum?
uniform in years. It's been years since they've had a good kit on those guys.
Oh, I don't well, I mean, I guess it has been years at this point. The last World Cup ones were fine.
Some of them were fine.
Which ones?
I forget if it was. I think the blue ones looked like shit.
The white was better.
The white was good.
This is the current one. It's like a black jersey with red and blue stripes. It's bad.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of the black.
It was an ugly, ugly affair. It's our first 4-game losing streak since 2007. It's our first 4 home game losing streak since 1988. It's just bad. It's bad. And then Pulisic is not playing for the team. He's taking a little sabbatical, and then Landon Donovan had to comment on that and be like, I don't like the fact that he's taking a break, when Landon Donovan has also taken numerous breaks from the national. We might be fucked. And I was so optimistic about this team too.
Have the United States ever been like really good at soccer?
No. In 2002, we should have made the semifinals of the World Cup, but we got fucked by the refs. But that's the best that we've been since like 1930 something, when I think didn't we make the finals?
The only one I
might have lost to Uruguay.
You'd have to tell me.
I think we lost to Uruguay in the finals in like 1930 something.
The only one I remember is when the woman took her shirt off.
Oh,
slid.
Brandon Chastain.
There we go.
Yep, that was fantastic. I mean, our women's team's awesome. Our women's team is always like.
Oh, so they've been good.
They've always been good.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the men, what do you think it is? I mean, we just don't prioritize it.
It's a lot of things. I don't think we have the best youth system. I think clearly our best athletes, for the most part, don't play soccer. Historically, they haven't. I think we're getting better players that play soccer now. I think more kids are playing soccer. But for a while, it was like if you were like a top 1% of 1%. Did you ever think about playing soccer when you were growing up?
No, that and golf was kind of dorky to me.
Yeah, see, that's how it's been for a while.
We also just don't have the infrastructure that like European countries have.
I don't think it's like it's not idolized. So like there's no league to look up to as a kid. And so it's like when you're growing up, NBA, NFL, MLB, not even as much as the MLB, but like there's no soccer league when you look up like, oh, I want to play in the
MLS.
There's too much shit to go. I don't know.
And that's the problem, is that in the European, South American countries, now obviously there are those leagues, but then they also have teams starting at like 5 years old.
Right.
Like they scout the best 8-year-olds in England.
Oh.
And they will, like Chelsea or Man United or whoever, signed you and you play for the Man United 8-year-old team.
That's insane.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
and like you keep doing that. So
That's what they do for basketball, like AAU and shit.
Mm-hmm.
but it's even more like if you go to like Man City, the team I like, if you go to the Man City training center, there is the senior team, like the real team, and then there's the 14-year-olds on the field next to them, and they are the Man City 14-year-old team. Like, you are a part of the organization.
Do they get paid?
That's a good question. I don't know.
I don't know that either. But we do have travel soccer and like high-level youth soccer in America, but we are starting to get like the players that are on the good players that we have on our national team right now. A lot of them didn't play last night, but a lot of those guys play in like the top tier leagues over in Europe. So they are good. Like I was saying that this is the most talented team that we've ever had.
Okay.
If you look objectively speaking, the best leagues in the world want our players on their teams.
There was one cat I remember, black dude, who was like number 10 or something like that, maybe. But he was supposed to be. He was like young.
Talking about Freddie Adu?
Yes.
Yeah.
Whatever happened to him?
Wasn't very good.
He was like 5'4".
You can relate.
I can relate to that. I mean, Messi's what, 5'6", 5'7",
Right. I don't think soccer tall isn't like a.
but he's also like
No.
kind of frail, not very powerful. And he was anointed as, you know how like they put LeBron James on the cover of Sports Illustrated when he was what, 16 years old. Freddie Adu was anointed as being the next Pele when he was 14 years old, and he just was never that guy. He just never grew into it. I went to his first game.
Good player or not a good player?
He was like an average American soccer player.
Damn.
Yeah, but we've
The
got
pressure got to him, or it just was never that good.
I think he was never. He never hit that next level. I think he was dominant against other 14-year-olds, and then other guys get faster than him, and it never really hit. But we've got some players right now that could be considered top-tier players in the world. Like Christian Pulisic should be. He is a top-tier player.
Okay.
He didn't play last night. And we've got a couple other guys. Balogun, that guy, he's considered like one of the top tier.
McKinney, Musa,
Yeah. So
Robinson,
we've got guys. Adams, right?
Tyler Adams.
We've got guys, but we just can't figure out how to run a team.
Yeah.
So that sucks.
It's never been intriguing to me.
Well, the World Cup, I love the World Cup. It's the coolest tournament.
We're going to the World Cup.
All right, give me because it took me, 38 years to get into baseball, right? I get it now. I understand why people enjoy it. I enjoy it now. What is the appeal of soccer? Why do people enjoy that?
Just the sport? Because I don't know if I can explain the sport as much as I can explain like why the World Cup's awesome.
You're a patriot. I understand
Well,
that.
it's not just because of that. It's because you've got like 32 countries that put together their teams. Then they travel as fan bases to go see their team compete at the highest level.
Okay.
And they travel like as a country. There's just a lot of national pride from all over the world.
Okay.
It's like a celebration of every country that happens at each World Cup.
Okay.
And then you always get like a few underdogs that make it way farther than you think they would. And next thing you know, like the entire nation of Morocco has shut down for 2 weeks because their team is winning in the World Cup. And it's just like, it's a very cool thing to experience.
And we've never won the World Cup.
We've never won it.
The honest answer to your question for most of the world is just that it's the only sport over there.
Okay.
Like, that's why they love it. And it's like in England, I think there is like a professional basketball league and shit, but nobody gives a fuck. Soccer is like 11 months a year, so it's the only team. So like when the Braves are shitty, like whatever, UT football is coming up, right? If you're a Chelsea fan and Chelsea sucks, your life sucks. That's the only thing there is.
Got you.
Like,
I got you.
And the cool thing about European football, Arian, like in the EPL especially, they've got a system where they've got teams that are up at the top at the English Premier League, and that's the top league that they have in England. But if you finish, it's the bottom two, right?
3.
The bottom 3 teams get relegated at the end of every season. So the bottom 3 teams drop down to their second best league, and then the top 3 teams from the second best league move up to the Premier League, which is the biggest league in the entire country by far. So it means a lot. Like your team is really good and they're one of the worst teams in one of the worst leagues. Over the course of a few years, they could rise up and end up competing in the English Premier League. Like if you had a minor league baseball team that was able to make it into Major League Baseball,
which is what Ryan Reynolds and Rob McElhenney's team is doing.
Yeah, the Wrexham guys out in Wales. So it's a very interesting sport. But yeah, we suck at it now. Again, old news.
Whatever, we'll get over it.
But we're gonna be so good next summer.
Hope so.
Just keep the faith. Keep the faith. What else we got in the news today?
Did you see the story of the? Oh no, you didn't, because I never hit send on the email. All right, you'll get it in a second.
Okay.
There was a guy, I believe in Osceola County, Florida. He attacked a guy with a machete.
Okay.
Banged him up pretty bad, but being the ethical machete wielding madman that he was, had the decency to drive his victim to the hospital.
Okay.
So he stabs him and takes him to the hospital.
Yeah.
Oh, this is in Florida. Of course it was.
Okay, I have so many questions.
All right, so apparently there was a sheriff's deputy that got flagged down by a woman saying that her brother had just been stabbed by a guy with a machete, and they're both on their way to the hospital together. So it was two people. They got in a verbal altercation in the vicinity of a Circle K. I would expect that's probably where a lot of machete attacks happen, right? Circle K
Not a
parking
top
lots.
tier gas station.
No, you knew what you were signing up for if you got there. So this deputy got flagged down saying that her brother was injured by the same man who's taken him to the hospital for the injuries. So they found blood in the bed of the truck. They found the machete that was used, and he got charged with aggravated battery with a deadly weapon and booked into the jail. So it sounds like the person is okay. Sounds like the person survived.
Ish.
I don't fuck with machetes.
How do people get machetes? I feel like I hear
You can buy one, can't you?
Can you just buy a machete like online?
in Florida probably.
Yeah.
I just feel like we hear about quite a number of machete attacks,
Let me
Mhm.
see.
It's like a sword.
but you don't see them
Yeah,
around. You know,
yeah. I'd rather see a good guy with a machete walking down the street.
Right.
That'd make me
I
feel
can
safe.
order one on Amazon right now.
No way.
Yeah.
Definitely you can get
what's
one
a good
in Texas.
machete run?
I'm seeing $30, 36, 31,
Well, those can't be good. ones.
69.
That might be a good.
I
one.
would
Yeah.
I would want to spend at least $100 on machete.
Get what you pay for.
Yeah,
don't
because if you get a $39 machete, you're just gonna have to get a new one in like
Right.
3 months.
This looks like the one I would get right here. This one's $65. This one looks like military grade.
Oh yeah, that'll fuck you up.
Yeah.
I think people use them for clearing brush.
That's what it says. Machete for clearing brush.
Machete not for stabbing. Acuna just went yard big
Just
time.
unloaded.
Big time.
Oh, that's beautiful. Love that.
Did you bet him home run?
No, I bet him 2 hits, so I think that hit.
Arian and I have a 5-leg parlay that only needs 2 more strikeouts, and we're in the 4th inning.
Yeah. So you have a parlay.
You didn't put it in?
I don't know.
I sent it to you.
I don't know how to do this shit, man. I come up here, bet a few times, win, and dip.
It is remarkable.
You are the best gambler right now.
Facts.
So Arian, we got the U.S. Open. Any last minute tips?
Oh, you know what? I should put my bet in now.
Yep. Actually, when people listen to this, it's probably my guess is the tournament will have started. But maybe if you're like one of the first people to listen,
Yeah.
you can get
Shout out to the Noti gang.
You can get Arian's picks in before the U.S. Open starts.
Yeah.
So who do you like?
I don't like Scotty here.
Okay.
I think it's gonna be a surprise. Like I don't think it's gonna be anybody notable.
Okay.
Give me a few.
All right.
Let me
Let you marinate on that for a little bit.
Let me marinate on that.
All right. And we're going to talk about Harry Houdini in a second. The life and times of the greatest escape artist to ever exist. And Houdini's also brought to you by Stella Blue. The weather's heating up, so stay cool with Stella Blue Cold Brew. Whether you love a bold dark roast, indulgent flavors, or our new variety, Miss Peach is 100% Colombian, we've got a cold brew for everyone. Better, fresher, cold brew at home in just 3 easy steps. You steep it, you refrigerate it, and you enjoy it. And the best part is, every purchase helps homeless pets find their forever homes. Grab Miss Peach's or any of our cold brew varieties now at Amazon or StellaBlueCoffee.com, where you can use promo code MACRO. Promo code MACRO. Get 20% off orders of $25 or more. Sip with purpose all summer long. I also want to give a shout out to the brave scoreboard operators at Major League Baseball games that are in charge of doing the celebrity lookalikes in the crowd. Because I was thinking about this, Arian. I don't know if you noticed this when we were at the game, but actually, with the exception of you, Arian Foster, all the other celebrity lookalikes that they saw in the crowd, they were Caucasians.
Yeah.
They were white people. And I was thinking about it later, and if you were to choose an African American and then hold up a picture of another African American and be like, this guy looks like this guy, you could be accused, if they don't look that much alike, of like, wow, this is kind of racist that they think this guy looks like that guy. Right?
I wouldn't.
Like if there's just like a black guy with a shaved head and they're like, is this Michael Jordan in the crowd?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, I can see.
They got to put
They have to be identical.
They have to be identical, and then also because I assume that some of the scoreboard operators are doing that happen to also be African American individuals.
Right.
You got to put like the name, like this celebrity lookalike is brought to you, and then put your name on there, and then hopefully people will like see the name and hope maybe you have a name that people could infer. Oh, that guy, the guy who did that is also black, so it's not racist actually.
You know what I've noticed? All race groups feel like other race groups look alike.
That's true.
Yeah.
You think white people look alike?
I do think white people look alike.
Who would you say Big T looks like?
I saw somebody tweeted this at me one time. I was like, yeah, that kind of track. The little kid from King of the Hill.
Bobby Hill.
He played him in an ad once.
Yeah, that one tracks. That one tracks, yeah.
Who do you think Brandon Walker looks like?
Brandon Walker. Like Will Ferrell.
Okay. He would probably take that.
Yeah.
He'd be happy with that. Wait, do your Brandon Walker impression again.
What is I have a Brandon Walker impression?
Yeah, you did
Yeah,
it one
you did.
time. You were like, you know, the guy that's like, where y'all going?
I don't remember what it's that.
Hey. What y'all doing?
I don't remember it.
All right, so who are your picks for the U.S. Open?
All right, I'm gonna give you 3.
And you can still bet these, by the way, even if the tournament started.
Yeah,
they
for
have
sure.
like live leaderboard, and you can bet on guys at any time.
For sure. I'm going to take Hideki Matsuyama.
Okay.
I'm going to take this is an off one. I don't know, but I'm rooting for Victor Hovland.
Mm-hmm.
He lets me down a lot, but I'm going to go with Colin Morikawa.
Okay.
I'm going to go with Colin Morikawa.
Good ball
For
striker.
a winner, yeah. And also, I'm always rooting for John Rahm. But I'm going to go with I'm picking Colin for the win.
Mad Dog, I heard you agree with the Victor Hovland pick. Is that correct?
Yeah.
You got your little what y'all call it, a bonk?
Someone else maybe in this room.
Oh, Mackenzie.
Matt, you got a little bonk?
You're a fan of Victor Hovland?
Of course.
Of course.
Who isn't?
Let me look this guy
Great
up.
golfer.
Victor.
There's not many golfers I'm not a fan of.
He's like up there for you though, I feel like.
Yeah, him and Ludwig are my top 2 right now.
You got to think for the Norwegians.
Jordan Spieth's my number 1 always, though. So.
Okay. All right, I see you.
Oh, you like the pretty boys. I got you.
Clean
God
cut.
forbid.
You like a clean-shaven young boy. They all 3 of those do look like they're.
That's a wild thing to say.
Well, all 3 of them look like they're 20 years old.
Yeah, they are.
Right?
They're all of age.
Yeah,
Yeah, I mean easily. Like Victor Hovland, how old is he? He's 27.
Mm-hmm.
Spieth is. How old is Spieth? Let's
He's
see.
like my age, probably.
He's 31.
Oh,
But
okay, so
but he
he's
also
older than me.
when he shaves, he seems like he's 20.
He has a baby face for sure.
All baby faces.
Yeah. I feel like a lot of golfers do.
Yeah. There's not a lot of like
Rugged golfers.
Yeah.
John Daly,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Long John Daly.
I guess.
I mean, John Rahm looks like he's 50.
Yeah.
No, you know who really aged bad is your man Scotty Scheffler.
What?
Well, I think
I don't think so.
He has
Dog.
baby face too.
He just
Baby face? He looks like he's 50 years old.
Where do
He's
you get
Scotty
that
Chef.
from?
28, dog.
I think he does.
Google him and tell me that is a 28
I
year
know
think
old
you're
what he
talking
looks
about
like.
his hairline.
No, I'm not. I'm talking about his face. I'm talking about bro.
I think he carries himself as a 50-year-old.
Bro, look at a picture and tell me that is a 28-year-old man.
I see him all the time. I think
You could tell me 35.
Dog,
Yes, that would be the
that-
max though.
yo, we have different visions of what a 28-year-old man look like. That man looked 50, bro. Rory too.
He does not look 50.
You also don't think Rory's handsome, and that's
no,
crazy.
got nothing to do with look good, not look good.
Oh, okay. I thought we discussed that one time.
Aging he's aging.
I think you're also conflating how he carries himself because
Nah,
he does
I don't-
act like an old man.
Telling
He's
you.
kind of like Big T.
Yes, he is. I would say that's 100% a fair comp.
operates as a 46-year-old.
Yes.
I
Yeah.
also think being in golf, being in an outdoor sport like that, you're getting a lot of sun.
Mm-hmm.
Your face may have a little
Yeah.
bit more sunspots on it than a normal human.
My favorite is the golfer's tan, the forehead
It's
line.
insane.
Yeah.
Stuart
And the-
Sink, was that the guy that had the all-time? Just the top of his head was white, and everywhere else on his body was like dark orange. They got the socks tan too.
Yeah, even my dad has the sock tan.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it just gets baked in at some point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Feet never see the light of day.
No, they don't. I'm like golf barefoot. Has anybody ever done that?
The spring break crew.
Oh, that's
in
right.
2017.
That's right.
or whatever
Nah,
year that was.
I'm not giving away these Tootsies for free. You got to pay extra for that.
Who said you have to record it?
I do have to record like every round that I play.
Really? For
Yeah,
Hank?
for Hank. Yeah, Hank's personal files. No, for just so that people know that I'm not sandbagging anything. That what my handicap is actually my handicap, because I don't want people being like, this guy, he's cheating. So golf is a sport of honor.
What is your handicap?
I think right now it's like a 22 or 23, but it's going to get worse before I play in the tournament because
What's the last round you shot?
I went 54-47 on Friday.
Or you gonna make me do the math?
But that's a 100. That's a 101.
Gotcha.
But it was also on an executive course, is what they call it.
What's an executive course?
It's just
I
like
just learned about
all
that the
par
other day.
fours, and it's one par three, so it's like not a long course at all. 9 holes.
What was the yardage?
For 9 holes, I forget what it was. I forget. It was not long. It was not a long. Every par four was like, I think the max was 425 yards. Most were right around like 350 to 425.
Now, are you training for this internet invitational, and then you're gonna be done with golf, or are you getting back the bug?
We'll see. We'll see how the training goes.
Yeah, I think you're just training for this.
I might fall back in love with it. I did have a great time when I was playing on Friday, though. So
Yeah.
as of right now, I'm back. All right, Harry Houdini, the legend, the escape artist. What do you guys know about him? What did you know about him before today?
That he got punched and died.
Okay, yeah, we're gonna get to that. And there's a lot of theories around his death too,
Mm-hmm.
because he made some very powerful, maybe the most powerful enemies you could possibly have. Big T, what did you know about Houdini before you read up on him?
Just that he did the straitjacket deal,
Mm-hmm.
and that his name is synonymous with magic.
Yeah, I would say like he is the Einstein of magicians.
But he's not really a magician.
No, he's an illusionist,
Yeah.
escape artist.
Yeah.
Yeah. I feel like when I hear somebody referred to as Houdini, it's kind of like Einstein in that now I hear it as like a pejorative,
Right.
where it's like somebody insulting you. Be like, look at this Einstein over here. Or, wow, man, you're real Houdini. Like sarcastic.
I can't remember. I've heard anybody use Houdini as a pejorative.
I do. I hear it a lot in sports as like a positive, though. If there's like an
what a
announcer.
Houdini, yeah.
Yeah, sometimes like when, what was his name on the Bengals that did the front flip into the end zone? Was that Simpson?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's like a Houdini move.
Yeah.
You know, like it's a compliment.
How
but
do you get out of that?
yeah, like day to day, if you're like, okay, Houdini, then it's like, all right, somebody has bad sleight of hand, and you insult them about it. But Houdini was not named Houdini. Fun fact.
Yeah, he's named your name.
He was named Eric.
Yeah.
Eric Weiss, or Eric Weiss, depending on how
Vice.
Hungarian you would like to pronounce it. He was born in Hungary and then his family moved to Wisconsin. By the way, I do love the Wisconsin accent, and I love hearing people say "padcast."
Podcast.
Oh, you guys do the padcast. I listen to your podcast every day. Wow.
I played golf with a guy last week who was like, have you played the Tam? I was like, what? He's like, the Tam O'Shanter. And it's the Tom O'Shanter golf course. I was like, oh, no, I haven't been over there yet. He said, you got to get to the Tam on a Friday afternoon. It's awesome.
Yeah. It's a very welcoming accent, very friendly sounding accent. So he was born Eric Weiss, and then when his family moved, they changed it to Ulrich, E-H-R, Ulrich Weiss, which I think I kind of wish my name was Ulrich.
You can change it, man. You're 40.
Ulrich. No, but just the pronunciation.
You can change that too.
I'm Ulrich. What's up? So
Eric's dead.
Yeah, Eric's dead. He was my twin brother. He passed away in a car accident. So he came over to America with his family, land of opportunity. His dad was like, this is where we're going to make our living. We're going to be rich, successful. They came over here. They were not rich and successful. His father was a rabbi for a short period of time until, I don't know if the flock left him or he left the flock, but he lost the congregation after a few years, and then they kind of traveled around trying to make ends meet. I think his dad ended up working at a necktie factory. This is the kind of jobs that we used to have back when America was great, Arian. A man could go on the street and he needed work, so he'd get hired at the necktie cutting factory, and then he'd just cut neckties all day. Yeah. And they give him enough money to afford pork and beans and like a tin roof to put over his head.
And I couldn't drink out of the same water fountain as you, but it was still great.
Mm-hmm.
How many times in the last 10 years have you worn a tie?
10 years? I haven't worn a tie in fucking...
Wedding?
Oh. When's the last wedding I've been to?
You were just at one.
I was at a wedding?
Recently, I
You
thought.
were at a Catholic wedding, you said.
Oh, yeah, I didn't have a tie on, though.
Yeah, I was going to say, I'd be shocked if he even wears ties to weddings.
What do you wear to a wedding?
That was a Vietnamese wedding, and I wore a... It's like this, I got it from Japan. It's like this pullover long dress shirt.
How far down does it go?
Past, like, mid-shin.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah, so it looks fancy, so it's very comfortable. So I get away with it.
I don't want to sound like I hate America or anything, but not every other country, but other cultures, their wedding outfits seem to be more joyful than the traditional American wedding outfit. Like the white dress on the bride, black tux on the guy. Other countries incorporate color into it, which I appreciate.
But see, then you see somebody try to do that here and it doesn't work.
Yes, I agree. Like if you were to have a wedding and we would go to it and you're wearing like a bunch of like some sort of like pink and orange headdress.
Or like when guys try to do the different color suits, it's like,
it
doesn't work.
It doesn't work here. But I do enjoy seeing other cultures' wedding attire because it's always fascinating.
Indian is cracking.
Indian is maybe the best.
Indian's hard. Vietnamese, that shit is cold. What are they called? Ayes or some shit like that?
I'm not sure what they call it, but I can imagine. Let me look up
shit's called
Vietnamese
wedding dress.
Wedding.
Oh yeah, wedding
attire.
There you go.
Let's see. Persian wedding attire is pretty cool too. Oh yeah, this is awesome.
Hard, dog.
See, look at this. You look like you're a royal family.
Yeah, shit looks hard.
That's the thing. Like every other country, it seems like you're being sworn in as king, and this is my queen.
Oh.
And in the United States, it's just like we're gonna
or king on king.
Yeah,
it's Pride Month.
Yeah, that's true. Love is love.
Happy Pride Month, Big T.
Yeah, Big T. He's abstaining from commentary. Oh, but you know what? It's an especially happy Pride Month because we're making amends too.
We're making men.
We're making amends. Our men are making amends with each other. Your boy Elon is. I think the bromance is back on.
Oh yeah, he couldn't stand the online hate from both sides.
I think the bromance is back on.
Too hot in the kitchen, baby.
He made an official apology to Donald Trump, saying that he went too far.
My bad.
With some of his posts.
You're not a pedophile.
From last week.
My fault, dog. You don't like kids.
We all cross the line sometimes. You got to know where that line is. I made a slight error.
He J. Cole'd it.
Yes, he did.
He J. Cole'd it.
He tapped out.
Damn.
Yeah. That's tough. That's real tough. So what did he do? He said, like, I'm sorry, can we let bygones be bygones? I went too far. I hope we can work together in the future.
Did he really say this?
I really need those tax credits, man. I really, really do.
Yo, Trump ain't having that shit. Once you cross Trump.
Yeah. And then JD Vance. Oh, no, wait. This is JD Vance News, the account. I thought this was JD Vance's official account. Just JD Vance News said Elon Musk lost 25% of his fortune while he was trying to lead efforts to streamline the government. Are you willing to give Elon a heartfelt thank you? And then Elon saw that was coming from a JD Vance News account, so he just quote tweeted and said it said worth it. So that's Elon trying to really signal out there to the administration, like, hey, please let me back in.
Haha, just kidding.
That's a tough one to.
And now he's tweeting through it.
He said, I regret some of my posts about President real Donald Trump last week, and tagged him. They went too far. And so he's just refreshing his.
What a sucker! What an absolute.
Did you see what Candace
sucker,
Owens
dog.
said?
What'd she say?
She said, "Do you regret telling the lie that Donald Trump was in the Epstein files, or telling the truth that he was in the Epstein files?"
Ooh,
I think that's a fair question.
That's actually a banger.
I think that's a very fair question.
That's a nice. I like that. I like that.
Extremely fair.
You might just like Candace Owens.
No, I do not. Like
I think.
Every time he talks about Candace
Oh,
Owens, he's like, I kind of like what she's saying.
Beautiful woman. Don't get me wrong. She's beautiful. I think she's stupid though. And then look, he's tweeting through it right here. He's some random video game he's tweeted.
Oh, really?
Yeah, look.
He's just trying to flood the timeline.
Yeah, just like just gaming. What are you guys up to?
For being the owner of the website, he's extremely transparent with how he handles things. Like he's read so many posts, and he can't help himself but to do the most stereotypical shit that everybody can see through.
It's just so funny. You just called out the president of the United States, and then now you're just tweeting video game shit. Like it's all G. We chilling.
Yeah, it's wild. So back to Houdini. Family. Yep.
Real quick, he named himself after, what was it? I just looked it up. He named himself after there was a French magician named Jean Eugene Robert Houdin.
Mm-hmm.
Houdin?
Yeah.
Is that how you say it?
I don't know. I'm just guessing.
Also probably Jean.
You
put some stank on it.
Jean Eugene
Robert.
Oh, that was good how you say it. Robert. Yeah.
Robert Houdin.
Houdin.
Yeah, that's good.
Houdin, yeah.
And then he put the I at the end of it.
He did. So they put the I on it. This was like maybe the second or third name that he tried to give himself. He was struggling as a magician.
Knocked it out of the fucking park.
But he nailed that one. I guess somebody told him that if you put the letter I at the end of Houdin, then it means like. So
I like that guy?
Like that guy. So like he is Houdini, meaning he is like Houdin. Yeah. Apparently that's not true, but somebody told him that, and now it was a great name though.
That's a dope rumor to have.
Yeah, and then the Harry came afterwards when he was trying to figure out what his first name would be.
Is this a top 10 name of all time?
For how it fits in your profession?
I just think by any metric, I think it's a top 10 name of all time.
I could see Harry Houdini being a great baseball player from the 1960s too.
Yeah.
Right? Like that seems like a New York Yankee.
Yeah.
It just fits in anything. It fits a magician, baseball player, chef.
Yeah. Oh, chef would be Houdini.
Chef Houdini wants to come by and say hello.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Yes, please. So my compliments to
my compliments
Houdini.
to Mr. Houdini.
I think Magic Johnson is probably a top 10 name too.
Oh, that's one of the firest.
It's also a very ironic name for how things shook out for him.
It was magic indeed.
It was some kind of Well, he's still alive, so yeah.
That shit ain't even a death sentence anymore.
I think it depends on how much money you got.
There's a vaccine for it.
Yeah, but it does depend like what your resources are. Like
sure,
money helps. Also, being around good health centers.
Yeah,
that helps too.
But it's not like a death sentence,
dude. When I was growing up, I was terrified of getting AIDS when I was like 8 years old.
Yeah.
Because it was all in the schools. It would make us watch videos.
We grew up
AIDS.
in the gay propaganda. So we was like, yo, all gay people.
Yeah.
Gay people have AIDS.
Yep. Don't go to swimming pool.
Yep.
You might get AIDS. You get bit by a mosquito. That mosquito might
they had
have
us
AIDS.
afraid of mosquitoes.
Yeah. And for me, it was more like them telling us over and over again, you can't get it from a water fountain. That made me think like maybe I can get it from a water fountain. Like I didn't think that I could
until you said it.
But now I certainly do. But yeah, so he named himself after one of his favorite magicians, who he actually later turned on.
Something just hit me. Kanye was always kind of wild. He had that line where he says, "And you know the government administer AIDS."
Yep.
So he was with the conspiracy shit a long time. It just that line just ran through my head.
Yeah.
That's the realization that it took for you to
He was
think that Kanye has always been a little nuts.
Well, I mean, nothing he's done to me up to what was the start of his downfall? I don't know. I'd have to really think about it. But
Like
I think
the last 6 years or so.
Yeah.
7 years.
when he started going on the internet without guardrails, that's when he started.
I mean, I thought something might be up with it. Would he? I'm not gonna like defend Taylor Swift because that's not my lane. That's Mad Dog McKenzie. But when he did get on stage as she's like accepting her award,
yeah, that was wild.
That's a wild thing to do to somebody.
That was wild, but I didn't think you're crazy. I was like, that's bold as shit. I was like, you're a passionate dude. That's how I thought about it.
I thought like kind of an asshole when I saw that.
But also, black folks didn't really care about because like he was defending Beyonce, so
right,
it kind of gave him a pass.
Mm-hmm.
And then yeah, I don't know that he's done anything. I think that was his antics were always pro-black, so I never thought anything different. Or you know, so like he said George Bush doesn't care about black people. We were like, yeah, true. You know what I mean? It didn't strike me as anything. But as his antics started to be more attention centered rather than, yeah. But yeah, he was always kind of a wild cat.
He went from the world's biggest Beyonce defender to maybe the world's biggest Beyonce hater.
Weird guy, man.
Yeah.
Wait, why does he hate Beyonce?
I mean, didn't he tweet that stuff out about?
He said, I think, I don't want to misspeak, but to my knowledge, Beyonce and Jay-Z have an autistic child.
I don't know, but he like went after their child.
Yeah, he said he called her a retard.
Mm.
Yeah. Which is like, kids should be out your beef, though.
Yeah.
Unless it's rap.
And then it's all good.
Then it's all good.
And unless, but that secret children, that's in play. If they're secret.
You are hiding a child. Let that boy come home.
Yeah.
Deadbeat motherfucker playing Border Patrol.
If you write letters to their entire extended family and then rap them, that's okay.
Yeah.
But
if you're on Surviving Barstool.
What happened?
Kirk.
Oh, yeah. Going after Che. Yeah, that was wild.
Wild times, man.
So Houdini named himself after Jean-Eugène Robert Houdin, added the I to it. Before that, he tried a couple different stage names that didn't really catch on. He started out like, I think he had to start working when he was 8 or 9 years old because his dad lost his job. His mom wasn't really working, so he was delivering newspapers and doing all the stereotypical stuff that like 8-year-old kids did back in like the 1890s, carrying a lunch pail with them, punching the clock, hanging up their coat at the end of a hard work day, kicking back on the couch. And then him and his brothers started to get into performing like some street magic, some illusions, just being like, even if it's 3-card Monte or something like that, just like hustling, just hustling with what they had to make money. And he tried to make it work as a magician. Things were really hit or miss for him. And then he came up with, one of the things that him and his brother did, his brother's name was Dash, by the way. Dash was his brother's name. They started a magic duo, and they went on the road in like a circus, and they would eat raw meat, like raw cow meat, because they called themselves like the starving man of Mexico or something like that, and just be like, I'm a untamed feral child that grew up eating raw meat. Come gaze your eyes upon me. And so people would like pay money to see a wild human being eat like raw steak.
Entertainment was scarce back then.
Raw steak. People would be like, oh my God, look at this.
You know that's actually making a comeback though?
Yeah.
I see random people like eating raw meat and drinking like raw milk.
Yep, raw milk's making a big time comeback.
What is this?
I don't know what the raw milk thing is. I think they're saying that the pasteurization process kills off some of the stuff that's good for you.
Okay.
I think it makes more sense to say that it's weird that humans drink milk from other animals.
I've said this for years. That's the weirdest shit in the world.
It's kind of, I mean, it's delicious. I like a nice cold glass of milk.
Imagine the first dude.
Do you
I
really
always say that.
You don't like a glass of cold milk?
No.
Milk is disgusting, fam.
You think it's
I
disgusting?
think it tastes horrible.
You don't like it
Even
in cereal?
chocolate milk, which I do like the taste of, I know I'm drinking milk, so I still don't like it.
Dude,
It's nasty to me. I don't.
what about in cereal?
I will honestly just I'll have it with cereal, but I'll just eat cereal out of the bag.
That's crazy.
That's wild.
Yeah.
We use almond milk.
Almond milk is good. I also like oat milk.
Any milk that don't come from another fucking animal, that's weird, though.
It's like you use this stuff to grow your babies, and we're gonna steal it from you,
It's fucked
and
up.
we're gonna give it to our babies.
We don't give. Yo, we treat cows so bad.
I mean,
dog.
to be fair, we also just kill them and eat them too.
slaughter
so,
the shit out of them.
We're
So
gonna-
I mean, how is the milk any worse?
We're gonna here, honey. We're gonna
taste horrible.
Oh, I agree. It's bad
Steak tastes amazing.
for sure.
we're gonna keep you in a metal cage, and we're gonna suck the stuff out of you that you use to raise your children on, and we're gonna steal all of it, and then we're gonna put it in every single school, and every kid will have to have it
Yo,
every
it's
day at lunch
kind of crazy.
for our babies.
It's kind of crazy.
That's what we're gonna do with your
Yo.
baby milk.
And then we're gonna kill you and eat the rest of you.
Yeah.
That's
What's that, cow? Are you asking us, like, do our women produce milk? Well, they certainly do, but we could always use more. It'll take
it's
some of yours.
actually kind of insane. Like if we were to go on some like spaceship,
Mhm.
we see another planet, and we see another species doing that to another species. We're
On
like, yo,
different
that is insane.
Well, the thing about cows is they need to be milked, right? Like mama cows.
I don't know enough.
If
about
you don't
cows.
milk them enough, they get ornery, and then you get an ornery cow, and then their milk tastes bad.
well, we never drank it, it would never be a problem.
That's a fair point.
Who drank the first milk? Who was the first milk drinker?
Oh, I mean, that goes back. I also think it was way more useful back in the day when there was it was always dangerous drinking water. Like if you had a well that was poisoned, or a well that had like some sort of disease in it, you knew that the cow milk wouldn't kill you. At least it's like cow milk won't kill you, wine won't kill you, any spirits won't kill you. So might as well drink that instead of just rolling the dice with some well water.
The consumption of milk by humans is believed to have begun around 10,000 years ago
Yeah, long time.
during the Neolithic period.
Long time. And, well, some cultures and some humans are like allergic to milk, lactose intolerant. But if you look at certain Asian populations, they're less likely to be able to absorb lactose efficiently because it doesn't go back as far in that lineage.
Archaeological remains showing signs of lactose intolerance, suggesting that people were consuming milk even though they couldn't digest it.
What does that look like? Like these bones are covered in shit. This person had a lot of diarrhea. They must have been lactose
Bury them
intolerant.
away from everybody else.
Yeah. Probably just weak bones, I would imagine. That means that you're not getting enough calcium.
Wasn't that pyramid propaganda?
Oh, that the entire food pyramid was, yeah.
Yeah.
If you look at how it's broken down, it's like you need to be eating all the carbs. Carbs are the number one food group in America. That's what they told us growing up.
Because it was what? Strong bones?
For milk, that was, the dairy section was for strong bones. I think that was like the second most that you should have is out of the dairy group. And then the fruits and vegetables, that was up there too. But the number one by far was the grains, right? At the bottom.
Mm-hmm.
And that was just like, eat bread. Eat more. Y'all need to be eating more bread.
Bread and milk.
Bread and milk, yeah. But I do like milk. Anyways.
You look like you like milk.
You don't drink milk with steak, do you?
I'm not a hardball.
I think that's I had never heard of that until a while ago. That's apparently a fairly prevalent practice among the whites.
Milk and steak
I
simultaneously?
think so.
They
The whole circle of life?
Have you
drink milk with steak?
So the person who told me this
Fuck.
was a black football player who said the white offensive linemen would get steaks with a glass of milk. Have you experienced this?
I've never seen this before.
Okay.
I think that also has to do with the fact that they have to keep weight on. And
Sure.
milk has way more calories.
But then I have since heard about it just from some other whites.
I do know for a fact that Jim Harbaugh eats steak and drinks milk.
At the same time.
Yes. There's pictures of him doing that.
Yeah, that's nuts.
He also refused to eat chicken for the longest time.
Nervous bird.
It was a nervous bird, so he didn't want that nervous energy. But then he changed his mind about chicken because he started raising chickens and he saw how industrious they were and how hard working they were. And so he's like, okay, yeah, chicken, I can get with chicken now.
Fuck.
So Houdini and his brother used to go on these like circus freak show circuits where they would just eat raw meat and pretend to be feral children, and then people would pay like pennies to go see him. That's how he made his money for a little bit. They started to do some magic tricks and was able to scrape together a little bit of money around it. And then he did change his name at that point to Harry Houdini, the stage name. And what's ironic about that, he loved this magician that he stole his name from, Houdin. He loved the guy. And then later on in his life, Houdini went on a quest to defame the person that he named himself after. He turned on him. And instead of changing his name, he's like, fuck that. I'm not going to change my name. I'm going to ruin that guy's name before me. It's a pretty bold move. So that ties into one of his little side quests that actually became a focus of his life later on. But he was upset at Houdin because he found out that Houdin was stealing a lot of his tricks back in the day.
Damn.
So once he found that information out, he's like, I'm going to trash this guy. He went to go visit his grave one time. I think he met with his widow and asked for permission to go visit the grave, and the widow was like, wait, you're here to ruin my husband's legacy? Fuck no, you can't. And Houdini was like, watch me. Try to keep me from preventing his grave, from visiting his grave. So he went to his grave, then wrote like a big article about what a piece of shit this guy was.
Jeez.
Because he would steal other magicians' tricks, allegedly. And so, yeah, the 1908 book, The Unmasking of Robert Houdin, is where you can see him go hard at his former hero. So he wasn't really catching on initially as a magician. He thought about quitting several times. That's the ultimate example of the guy digging through the mines right before he hits the gold.
Yep.
Like he was very, very close to walking away from being a magician because he wasn't making enough money to support his mom, support his family. So he was thinking about quitting. Not enough magic.
I would have loved to have seen one of the shitty Harry Houdini shows.
Yeah, he was finding his voice.
Yeah, everybody talks about Houdini. He did all this great stuff. I want to see when he sucked.
You want to see him eating raw meat.
Yeah.
Yeah. So in 1894, he met his wife Bess, and he brought her into his act. I think they dated for 3 weeks before they got married.
Love at first sight, dog.
Love at first sight. I've read descriptions of her as being elven. He met an elven young lass named Bess. I think that was a compliment that they were trying to pay her. But I also think that he probably saw like some elven characteristics, and he was like, that would work really well in a magic show.
When you say elven, that is characteristic of an elf?
Yes, elf-like.
Got it.
To possess elf-like characteristics.
You're kind of elven.
I used to think I was an elf when I was a kid.
Yeah, I can see it.
When I was like 5 years old, I looked in the mirror and I had pointy ears. I was like, I'm an elf. And I was perfectly average height when I was 5 years old. And so that was not height related, but I kind of grew into my elven
Like a
characteristics.
little Keebler. I can see that.
Do you like the movie Elf?
That's okay.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a pretty good movie.
I didn't really like that one.
You don't like Elf?
Not
That's
really.
crazy.
Yeah.
I think it's an okay movie. It's one of those movies that has kind of been ruined for me by people just like quoting it all the time.
What are some others like that? See, I would say
Anchorman.
That's ruined?
okay.
Nah.
It's not ruined,
But
but
see, National Christmas Vacation is quoted all the time, and that makes it better.
but it's only quoted 1 month out of the year.
Oh no, I say it all the time.
Which
What's the
ones?
one I say?
Shitter's Fall.
No, something Clark.
Bend over and I'll show you.
What's the one? It has Clark in it. I'll think of it later. I can't
You serious,
believe I can't
Clark?
think of it. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I say that all the time.
Mm.
Yep.
Holy shit, where's the Tylenol? That's another good one. Yeah, I would say Anchorman is up there for me. I wouldn't say it's been ruined, but the clear 1-1 is Borat. My wife. I think my wife.
But Borat.
I think that might be
still-
coming back though. My wife.
Every time you watch Borat,
Nah,
it's
that's just
so funny.
That shit's still funny.
Yeah,
To me.
my wife. I think I'm gonna bring back my wife.
He said, "You cannot get this. You cannot get
Yeah.
this." And he broke in, and he get this.
May George Bush kill every man, woman, and child in Iraq.
Oh, that's a great movie, but
Super
Yeah.
Zionist. by the
Incredible
way.
movie.
oh yeah,
And he's
yeah,
super Zionist.
big time.
Yeah.
So, Houdini, he meets his wife, and he's like, "You would be a great fit in my stage act. I've got just the trick that we can pull off together. I kind of like the idea of husband and wife stage acts.
Working with your wife, I don't know, man.
If you share interests, I guess it could probably work. But you know what always creeps me out is when it's it's kind of a rare thing, but like a husband and wife act that just says that they're brother and sister. I think that's what the
Who
White
does
Stripes. I
that?
think the White Stripes did that. I think it was Jack White and his wife, and they said that they were brother and sister. Can we look that up, Bad Dog?
How many husband-wife duos are there?
We don't really have that many anymore.
No.
Jay-Z and Beyonce.
Yeah, but they don't do anything together.
Oh, Control the World.
Sure,
Illuminati
but on
meetings.
stage.
Bill and Hillary. Bill and Melinda Gates.
Yeah, but you're just naming the Illuminati.
Michael and Susan Dell.
Not familiar. Is that the Dell?
The Dell Computers. Yeah.
I'm not familiar with their work.
Yeah.
I mean, I am. But
Where's
not
Jeff
personal.
Bezos' ex? Is she still single?
No, didn't she marry like a school teacher?
Yeah.
Oh,
You had a chance.
I did have a
You would have had a
chance.
chance for sure.
I could have slid.
And
Matt-
she has like $30 billion.
I could have slid, dog.
Mad Dog, what are we seeing about the
I'd have
White
wiped
Stripes?
that. I'd have wiped that. Divorced that.
You get 50?
Hey, I worked hard. I worked hard for that.
Wait, can you say it one more time? Say it again.
Yeah, the White Stripes. What's their relation?
The not actually siblings. They were married before the band became famous, and Jack later took Meg's last name. They publicly portrayed themselves as siblings to avoid drawing attention to their relationship and to focus on their music.
That's kind of weird, isn't it?
Yes, that's creepy.
That's very strange. Well, him taking her last name. I guess respect, girl boss.
Feminism. I will say also, it's one of those things where it's like, who brought up, like, what if we were just pretend brother and sister?
Who do you think brought that one up? Wild guess.
I'm looking at a picture of them. I've never heard of them before this moment.
You've never heard of the White Stripes?
No.
You've never heard of Jack White before?
Oh, I actually just didn't put together that he was. I've heard of him, but like I don't know what he did. Like I don't know his music really.
I mean, I'd say he's one of the top 20 musicians in the world right now.
That's ridiculous.
Not in terms of popularity, in terms of notoriety. He's massive.
Who's that?
You think he's one of the 20 most notable musicians in the world?
Who's that?
Jack White from the White Stripes.
I don't know who that is.
What's one Jack White song?
Well, there's Seven Nation Army.
Okay, I know that song.
Oh.
That's played in every.
Every
Mhm.
stadium.
Good football stadium song.
Great football stadium song.
I still think there's a better one though. The Zombie Nation.
Yeah. Oh.
Yeah, that shit is the top cream of the crop for me.
That's a good one. If you ever hear the song, da 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 da, hey, da 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 da.
Is that him?
You know that song?
Yeah.
Pedophile,
Mm.
convicted pedophile.
Really?
Thanks
So,
for setting that up.
for a while.
I did not know where that was going. I thought it was gonna be a cool.
Nope, not a cool story. Gary Glitter is the guy's name, and
Well, you could have just told me the name,
Gary Glitter.
and I probably could have.
Surmise.
guessed.
Yeah.
It's so wild.
For a while,
You know that song? yeah. Pedophile.
for a while they stopped playing it in stadiums
And then they said,
because it's like,
I gotta separate the art from the artist.
yeah, they didn't want, because you have to pay royalties, and so every time you play it, you're giving money to a pedophile.
Yeah.
And then after a while, people were like, yeah, but it is a banger,
It is a banger.
and so we'll eat the pedophile payments.
I will
We'll
say,
write those
I haven't
off.
heard that in a long time.
Have they stopped again?
I don't remember hearing it. For a
Yeah, I
while.
haven't heard that for a while either. Didn't know that.
I think it's a weird thing to be like, hey wife, what if you and I were actually brother and sister to the public to hold off like public image?
Yeah.
I think it's weirder because obviously people found out. And then you're like, what? We just wanted to like keep our relationship out of the public eye.
Yeah.
But I don't love the optics.
It's a very weird thing to suggest. Yeah.
Because then it makes it like 2 times weirder to put on top of it. Like, oh, we're married. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, just kidding. We pretend to be siblings, but we actually fuck.
Yeah, we fucked. Like they get caught kissing in public one time. And
Did they?
No, I'm just saying if they
Oh.
did, everybody would be grossed out.
Right. And then it says they also later divorced. You can't divorce a sibling, really, though. Then
No.
what?
So Harry and his wife Bess, they met in 1894.
God damn, dog. See, my nihilism kicks in.
What?
When I hear shit like that. Like, we're all going to die.
Mm-hmm.
Shit like that happens to me all the time.
It's a fact. It's a fact. And she was a showgirl. She was in an act called the Floral Sisters. They were Elvin. She was Elvin. Harry was intrigued.
So were you.
I probably would have been intrigued.
Yeah.
Dated 3 weeks, and then they said, let's just take our show on the road together. And that's when things took off for Harry. This is one example, actually, of a guy that, Arian, I know how you feel about this situation. I think that Bess, if they had ever gotten divorced, would have been entitled to 50%.
She was with him shooting in the gym.
Shooting in the gym. They did their first act. The breakout act for Harry Houdini was Houdini and his wife Bess in an act called The Metamorphosis that would set the tone for his entire career. So before that, he was eating raw meat. He was doing like card tricks and stupid sleight of hand shit, rabbits out of a hat, stuff nobody cared about. And then her and him teamed up to create The Metamorphosis. They first performed for a room full of, I think it was like 10 people for the first time they did this show. The premise behind The Metamorphosis was Harry would pick 3 people out of the audience to come up on stage and examine this giant crate trunk type thing that he brought out on stage, like a solid wooden box. And he would have the people from the audience inspect it, make sure there was no trap door, there were no holes in it, that it was secure. And then after they were satisfied with that, they would go back to their seats. And then he would have Bess tie him up, and the audience would see that the ropes were secure. Mm-hmm. They would put a flannel sack over his head, like a bag, tie that up too. And then they would put him in this trunk and nail it shut in front of everybody in the room. So they'd nail it shut, and then Bess would come out on stage, and she would clap her hands 3 times, and the curtain would shut really quick and then open really quick. And when it opened again, Houdini was standing on stage where Bess used to be. And then he'd open up the trunk, take all the nails out, open the top of it, and then she would stand up with her head covered in that sack, her arms tied up, the whole thing that he was in. And people were freaked out by this. They thought that this man was achieving achieving the impossible. So that
back then, that was probably crazy.
it was blew your mind. That was the craziest thing you've ever seen.
Right.
And people loved it. And it started to get more and more attention. He went on a tour of the U.S. and of Europe, of England too first. But in the United States, he was like the opening act doing The Metamorphosis. And then it kept getting more and more positive reviews and ended up being the closing act. So he was kind of blowing up. And this guy named Martin Beck, who was one of the guys that I think was paying Houdini way back in the day to eat the raw meat. He had a vaudeville theater that he would promote. And he went to Houdini, was like, I'm going to pay you so much more money. You're going to be great. And we're going to take The Metamorphosis and let you expand it. And I'm going to pay you a lot more money. And so then what Houdini would do, he would go around like the United States and Europe, and he would bring, every town he would go to, he would meet up with a journalist and then bring the journalist with him to the local police station. And he would ask the local police, give me your most secure set of handcuffs that you have. And they would loan them to him. And then he would go back, do the show, and part of the show would involve him escaping from the handcuffs in a matter of seconds. And the journalist would see the whole thing from the start and then write about it in the paper, doing publicity for him. Being like, holy shit, this guy is just doing incredible stuff. And he would have, sometimes they'd make like custom handcuffs for him if he was like, if he knew that he was coming to a town months in advance. And they called him the King of Handcuffs. So he started to sell out crowds in America, overseas as well. And then he expanded, and he stopped doing just like handcuffs, but he also incorporated straitjackets. So one one time he was doing a show and he saw a man in a straitjacket being escorted out of his show, and he went to talk to the man and the man's handlers. And they're like, yeah, we have to keep this guy tied up in the straitjacket. It's good for him. If we let him out, he's going to hurt himself. The guy was like going crazy. By the way, I think if you take a sane person and you put them in a straitjacket, they'll probably end up going crazy, right?
Crazy, yeah.
So it's not. I don't think it's going to help somebody.
Shouldn't help them
at all. But he saw that. He's like, what's this newfangled contraption that you guys have here? And the doctor was like, oh, this is a straitjacket. This is what we put crazy people in so they don't hurt themselves. And Houdini, the wheels started to spin. He was like, can I get one of those? I'm not crazy, but can I get one?
Let me get that.
And so he ordered a bunch of straitjackets. He would incorporate that into his shows too. He would be suspended over a river sometimes in a straitjacket. He would like dislocate his shoulders, wiggle his way out. He would be in a box that they would drop into a river, and then he would get out of the box. At one point, he tried to be buried alive, and they buried him 6 feet underground in earth. And he straight up wiggled his way to the top and broke his hand through the surface the second he passed out. Like, he was like seconds away from death, and he got out. He's like, I'm not doing that one again.
That's crazy.
I almost died. He said that being buried alive was the hardest thing he ever did, and it was like hell on earth. And one time he broke out of a jail cell that once held the assassin of President Garfield. So he's like, anybody can get out of this. I'll show you how. So he became just massively, massively successful. And then along the lines, he developed a fixation with spiritualism. So spiritualism was very different from the illusions that he would do. Spiritualism was the art of talking to dead people. It's kind of like we see mediums now. Yeah. So Houdini actually dabbled in spiritualism as an up-and-coming magician one time, where he had like an audience, and then him and I don't know if his wife or whoever his partner was, they would conduct a seance and they would talk to dead people on behalf of the people in the audience if they wanted to speak to like their dead mother or their dead brother. And he felt terrible after he did it. He's like, I'm taking advantage of these people's grief.
Yep.
It's unethical. I'm never going to do this again. And so he hated the spiritualists for doing this. And everywhere he went, if he saw that there was a spiritualist, he would make it his mission to tell as many people that these people are full of shit, that they're just taking your money, and don't buy into any of it. There was like a major cash prize that he put up there if anybody could prove that they were talking to dead people without Houdini poking holes in it and explaining how it was done. And nobody ever got the money because he would just like, boom, this is why you're a piece of shit fraud. So that was like a public service that he was doing. He absolutely hated it. He called himself a professional skeptic. There was a $10,000 reward that he had to any psychic that could present proof that they can't explain it, that he can't figure out their trick. No one ever got the money. He even testified before Congress to try to make it against the law to pretend to tell fortunes for reward or for compensation, which kind of respect.
That's fire.
Kind of respect that.
Love that.
Pretty good, right? But he did make some powerful enemies in the community of spiritualists, which we'll get to in a second when we talk about his death. He was also kind of a unionist. So he started a union of magicians that still exists to this day.
Really? I didn't know it still existed.
Yeah. So he would start to he realized, hey, we should band together to make the practice of performing illusions and magic to make it more uniform across the board so that we can all make more money performing our crafts. Because a lot of times we're very underpaid. Houdini was an underpaid magician, even though he was pretty good at some of the stuff at first. And he realized how predatory some of the theaters could be. And so he banded together with local magicians. When he was going to, like on a tour to visit different towns, he would meet up with the prominent magicians in that area, and they'd go out for dinners. They would hang out and talk about what they need to do to form up what would now be considered a union. And now I think there's thousands and thousands and thousands of people that are in this Houdini union that he started just by like meeting with people. He would also provide tips to troops and people who would be more likely to be taken hostage at some point, show them how to escape from handcuffs, how to escape from straitjackets, how to break out of prison cells. So it seems like a pretty good guy. He's
Solid
like,
cat, man.
here's how you get out of ropes. Because he was, yes, I guess technically a magician, but really an escape artist. So what he was doing, he would figure out ways to break out of handcuffs that didn't involve, like, anything magic, obviously. But he would figure out mechanically, here's where you apply pressure. Here's how you twist your arms and your wrists to get out of these handcuffs, depending on what kind of a handcuff it is. In 1911, there was a conglomerate of Boston businessmen that tried to get Houdini to escape from the belly of a 1,500-pound sea monster that had washed ashore. So it could have been a whale. I think probably if it's 1,500 pounds, most likely a whale, a small whale.
So nobody really knew or knows what it was.
Yeah.
There was one paper that said it was some sort of a turtle.
Okay. Could have been a giant turtle.
Yeah.
Or
so
baby whale.
Yeah, there are different. Nobody knows what it is, but one newspaper mentioned turtle.
It's so funny how little even like newspapers knew about stuff back then.
Yeah, they were just like, if they didn't have a guy there at the time it happened, they were like,
It was a sea monster.
Yeah.
It was a sea monster. It was from the depths. Yeah. It was a creature from Atlantis. And Houdini wrangled him, brought him ashore. So he got handcuffed, shackled, and leg irons, and he was put inside the carcass of the rotting sea monster.
It smells so bad.
Then he was covered in chains, and he was put behind a curtain. And then 15 minutes later, he got out. And he said he was nearly suffocated by the fumes from the chemicals used to embalm the sea monster. There was another one where he was put in some sort of contraption with like the world's strongest handcuffs, and it took him over an hour to get out. And the audience just sat there the entire time watching. And then after an hour, he finally got out.
Is that a feat?
I would say if he's already established as being Houdini, and you market it sufficiently to be like, it's the strongest iron that man has ever made, you could probably pass it off and be like, great job,
No, I think
Houdini.
that's worse. I think if Ted from down the street gets out of the world's strongest handcuffs in over an hour, that's impressive.
Yeah.
If it takes Houdini an hour, that's a shitty way to spend a Friday night.
You just gave me a good idea for Barstool After Dark.
Mm.
Put Tate in a straitjacket. The Tate jacket. And who else should we tie up in a straitjacket?
I want to be on the next one when I come up.
Okay.
I want to do that.
We can make that happen.
Yeah, I want to do that.
They were talking about one recently that I really want to do, which is get the whole office or a bunch of people and have to complete a perfect game of Jeopardy. Like we just keep cycling through episodes of Jeopardy until we get one perfect.
I don't know if that would ever happen. Like as a duo.
No, as like 20 people.
Oh, 20. Oh, yeah. I think we could do that.
Eventually.
Yeah, I'm into that. Shane's really good at Jeopardy.
Really?
Yeah. Ask Shane about it. He'll tell you all about it. Although there was one episode that we watched, he only got one question right. That was really sad. He would also practice holding his breath. He said that he could hold his breath for more than 4 minutes. So he would do that for the instances when he'd be like dropped.
How long
in
can
a
you hold
crate.
your breath?
I would say at the most, like my all-time best.
No,
right now.
Give me all-time worst, like Big T.
But like right now, is that what you're asking?
If gun to your head, how long can you do it? And if you're wrong,
if there's gun to my head, probably not that long because you get excited.
well, I'll take it down when you begin to hold your breath.
I think if you said, "I will shoot you," I don't have the gun to your head, but I will shoot you.
If you're wrong about how long you hold your
I
breath.
think I could do it for like a minute 15.
Minute 15.
I think so.
That's not bad at all.
How long could you go?
I do it with my kids all the time because, kids are like, when you swim with them, they're like, how long can you go underwater? So I do it with them all the time. And I routinely get over a minute.
Yeah.
But I don't know that I've ever pushed myself. But I think if I actually push myself, I could probably go to 130.
If you're swimming, it's harder. Like if you're moving around.
Well, that's the trick I teach them is you have to just play dead.
Yep.
Don't move your body.
Yep.
But they can't, and they end up swimming around I whoop them every time.
Yeah, you beat them?
Every time.
They've never beaten you.
Nobody's
in
even gotten close.
that? You're all-time GOAT in your family at holding your breath?
They think I'm the man.
I love that. I think I could do a minute and 15, maybe.
How long do you think you can do?
I don't know. Should we do it right now?
You want to do it?
It's bad podcasting, but we can
Yeah,
do
that
it.
would be a bad podcast.
I can
We'll cut back in.
I can keep talking.
Hold on, I'll start a stopwatch.
I can fast forward if you want.
Okay,
Speed it up with music.
ready, boys?
Yep. Do we want to time it?
Oh man,
But I can't see you, so you
we
gotta
needed that one.
tell me when you have to make a noise when you're done.
Breathing.
Yeah, I guess.
Okay.
Okay, ready?
Yeah.
Or you got to tell me. Wait, hold on. Is everybody doing?
Yeah. 3.
2, 1, go.
Oh, I'm doing it too. I thought we was just Big T.
Oh,
My bad. I thought Big T was the only one doing
We're
it.
going to do it 3 separate
No, we're
times?
all gonna do it.
My fault.
No, do it all together.
Okay.
Ready? 3, 2, 1, go.
I fucked up. I'm sorry.
$110. He's going blue. He's gonna crack.
It's pretty impressive. I started laughing.
Yeah, I guess we'll never know.
130.
Nice.
That's
job,
nice.
guys.
That's a good job. I'm sorry. I started laughing. Like I don't know why. I got
Yeah, it's
the
good.
giggles.
You're the GOAT, though.
I got the giggles.
Your kids would be so disappointed in
Yeah, don't show them.
you. Yeah.
Their hero.
I mean, I could do it now.
More than 4 minutes is crazy.
That's insane.
I googled what the average breath holding time is. It says 30 to 90 seconds. That's just that's an outrageous
30 seconds is wild.
thing to say is the average.
30 seconds. You're just not trying.
Well, I don't
But
know.
you could laugh. You might laugh. That would explain.
I got the giggles,
You
though.
got like 6 seconds.
I got the good. I mean, we could do it again. Want to do it again? All right, I'll do it again.
No, we don't. We just did it.
Yeah.
Okay. Well,
Prove myself.
We just started breathing again. You've been breathing for 3 minutes.
that's true. My bad. I had to giggle.
All right. So yeah, Houdini could hold his breath over 4 minutes. That's just crazy. You're probably legally dead at some point. Your heart rate slows down. Is that what happens? Your heart rate slows down? Or
Yeah.
does it speed up when you hold your breath?
I think it would slow down, no?
I think it slows down. If you're good at it, it slows down. Because that way the oxygen doesn't circulate as fast.
Yeah.
Now, hang on. What do you think the Guinness World Record for the longest breath hold is?
6 minutes?
I would say more.
How
I would say
long?
like 9.
I'm seeing 24 minutes. There's
That's
no chance.
No chance 24 minutes. I know that free divers, when they go on those like deep dives without using snorkels, which is like the world's most dangerous sport, it's fucking crazy. If you guys ever watch a documentary about these people, they pack their lungs with oxygen before they go down.
What does that mean?
So they do like these deep, weird sounding breaths, and it's them getting as much oxygen as they can into their lungs before they go down. Then they dive underwater. They got weights on them that pull them down, and then get to the bottom. They try to break each other's records, and then they have to go up at this very specific pace, or else you'll get the bends, and it'll fuck you up. And then they try to surface while still alive. Just absolutely crazy stuff. Maybe the world's dumbest sport.
It does say this record was set underwater using pure oxygen prior to the dive. So is that similar to what you're talking about?
Pure oxygen would probably just be like they've got a bottle and they load up with that.
Okay.
Which, I mean, regardless, if that's anywhere close to being true, that's super impressive.
But a Croatian guy.
Okay. I'd like to see the methodology behind that. So when Houdini died, he was 52 years old. He was world famous. He was absolutely 100% the most famous illusionist, escape artist of all time. And he was like a worldwide superstar. And he died on Halloween Day when he was 52 years old in 1926. So his death was called peritonitis. Peritonitis. That's the official cause of death. They said he had a ruptured appendix, which made him have blood toxicity, which killed him. Which is crazy that like every person that you've ever met that has had an appendectomy, they would have died like 200 years ago.
That's wild.
Yeah, that's one of those things where it's like you got a ticking time bomb inside your body, and you better squirt out some kids before this thing goes off, or else too bad. So it was like a case of appendicitis that got progressively worse over the course of a couple weeks. He dealt with the symptoms of it in some of his last couple shows. He had one show that he performed and he had like 104-degree fever. One we had like 102-degree. I think on his last show, he should have been at the hospital, but he said, fuck it, show must go on. He passed out during a show. He had to be resuscitated on the stage to finish the show. Then he went to the hospital and died. But what's more interesting than that is what happened a couple weeks before he died. He was at McGill University, and there was a student there who came up to him. The student's name was J. Gordon Whitehead. J. Gordon Whitehead said, I've heard that you can absorb any punch to your body. Is that true, Houdini? And Houdini was like, yep, that is 100% true. I've also heard that that Houdini was dealing with an ankle injury at the time. So he was kind of like lying down or in a semi-reclined position, trying to take weight off his foot. And he told him, yeah, it's true, I can do that. And so then the student just started beating the fuck out of him.
That's so insane, though.
He's like, oh, yeah? Like, didn't even say, okay, well, I'm going to try. He just said, I've heard that you can withstand heavy body blows. Houdini was like, that is accurate. And then boom, 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 boom. Started punching him in the stomach. Yeah, exactly. I've heard anywhere from 3 to 5 times. He just straight up started wailing.
How insane is that, though?
It's crazy.
That's insane, though.
I heard people can hit you. He's like, yeah, I've been known to get punched a time or two.
Fucking
and then boom, boom, boom.
Start wailing on you?
No warning whatsoever.
That's insanity, dog.
So this guy, J. Gordon Whitehead, punched him. And then for the rest of that night, for the next couple of days, Houdini was saying, my stomach really, really hurts. Like, I don't know why. I think it's probably from that guy that hit me. And then a week later, he developed symptoms that were like, right in line with the toxicity from a ruptured appendix. But he had pain in his stomach ever since that person hit him. So they're thinking that the appendicitis might have been triggered by taking the body blows. So he actually didn't go to the hospital afterwards. But the pain got so bad that Bess was like, yeah, we got to get you to the hospital. He had an emergency operation to remove his appendix, but it had already ruptured, and he had an infection in his stomach. And on October 28th, he had a second operation, and then they gave him some serum, which is probably just like snake oil. But his last words were, I'm tired of fighting at that point. So
damn, that's deep, actually.
Yeah, he was tired of fighting it, and in 2013, there was a review that was conducted by the World Journal of Emergency Surgery. They said that as a cause of acute appendicitis, blunt abdominal trauma is rare, and occasionally appendicitis and trauma exist together, which causes an interesting debate whether trauma has led to appendicitis. So it's still unclear to this day. They're like, okay, I guess it could have caused it, but there's no way to like straight up prove that that's what happened. But there is a theory out there that he was poisoned by spiritualists.
Yeah,
because
shit.
he made a lot of enemies in the spiritualist community by spending his life debunking them and debunking them very publicly, canceling spiritualists. And spiritualists had been known to either beat the fuck out of people that revealed their secrets or tried to take away their livelihood or their grift, tried to expose their grift. But they had also poisoned people. There were other people that had been poisoned by these grifters. And so some people think that because of his mission to just ruin every spiritualist that he ever met, that he was poisoned to death by spiritualists that might have slipped something into a drink or into some food. But before he died, this was, I believe, well before he got punched in the stomach, he told his wife, Bess, he was like, hey, you know how we hate those spiritualist motherfuckers? Well, how about this? How about we're going to come up with code words to say to each other, whoever dies first, we want the other person to try to contact them. And then the real ghost will be able to tell you the secret password that only you and I know. So he told his wife.
Actually brilliant.
That's pretty smart, right? So Bess tried. It was the code words were Rosabelle Believe. And she tried to contact him beyond the grave for 10 years, and nothing happened. And the Houdini Museum in Scranton, Pennsylvania, they still do a seance on Halloween every year. No one has been able to talk to Harry, and Bess never heard those code words from Houdini.
I can't believe you've gotten to where he's dead and did not mention something about him that I was certain you would have mentioned first.
Okay, what are you going to say?
He was one of the first private pilots.
He was, yes. He was a.
Oh wow! How did you skip out of this?
He was an aviation enthusiast,
fake plane guy.
I wanted you guys to bring it up. This is Big T's playing corner.
And the title is disputed, but he is alleged to have made Australia's first certified powered flight.
Yeah,
in 1910.
He was the Wright brothers of Australia.
The Wright brothers.
The Wright brothers.
The Houdini.
Fancy airplane machine. whirlybird.
The flying Houdini.
I've got a fantastic whirlybird here. What's your whirlybird contraption there, Harry?
Razor blades.
Why, it's a flying didgeridoo. Yeah, that boomerang doesn't return, and you're sitting on it. In 1909. In 1909, he became enamored with aviation, and he bought a French-made Voisin biplane. Voisin. He actually crashed in his first flight, but then he kept trying, which is crazy. If you
I gotta tell you, I'm doing my first plane crash will be my last, regardless of if I die or live.
One way or another, yeah.
It will be the last time I'm on a plane.
I agree with that. 100%. Like, even if it's a passenger flight, if you have a crash landing, if you end up like those people up in Toronto.
Yep, that'd be the last time I was on a plane.
The plane's flipped over, everybody gets off safely. You're like, yep, not flying ever again.
Anyone that does is nuts.
Yeah, agreed. So this guy crashed his first flight, and then he was like, I'm going to keep practicing. And he was the first person.
I'm going to keep practicing.
In 1910, he got behind the controls of an airplane, and he flew 3 times. And the Aerial League of Australia certified his display as the country's first powered and controlled flight. But there are some people that say that the record actually belongs to Colin DeFries, who was an Englishman who allegedly made a brief flight just a couple months before that. But as far as the nation of Australia goes, they think they both tied. They think they both did it at the exact same time. So they made stamps commemorating Houdini and DeFries together, saying these guys at the exact same time took off in separate airplanes and landed. How crazy is that?
Exact. This simultaneity.
Yes. In 1920, Houdini was planning to make the first transatlantic flight. He was going to go from Paris to New York. So he would have beaten Lindbergh at that. But for some reason or another, it fell through. So that's Houdini. How did he die? I think I'm going to say it was a spiritualist. I don't trust those people.
No, this fucking guy, man. J. Gordon Whitehead. So I looked up to see if because he killed him. But like, it's not premeditated, but it's still, it was like manslaughter. Nothing ever. It's not manslaughter.
He consented to it.
No, he didn't. He walked up and punched him.
It's like saying, "Hey, Big T, I've heard that." If I said to you, "I've heard that you can dodge bullets."
Okay, I was under the impression that when he said like, "Yeah, I can," like he was like, "Go for it."
No. He didn't prepare himself. Didn't like flex his. By the way, he had like an 8-pack. Houdini was ripped.
Yeah, you see the pictures. I didn't see his chest, but his legs he had some muscles on his legs.
He was strong. He was compact. And no, he didn't get to brace. He didn't get to flex his abs. Just got wailed on. I feel like that is it could be murder.
I mean, it was. He punched him in the stomach, ended up dying from those injuries. But anyway, he kind of faded off from public view. But Bess contacted him, and he signed an affidavit to help her collect double immunity payment from his life insurance policy.
Okay.
Yeah, which was nice.
Yeah. They probably felt some guilt. Like,
I mean, you killed the most famous magician of all time.
You're a college student, and you accidentally kill the most famous person in the world.
Yeah, like it's like randomly knocking off David Blaine.
Yeah, my bad.
My fault, dog.
No, David Blaine will never die. Him and who's your GOAT? Well, obviously Houdini. But like modern GOAT, you a David Blaine guy or are you a Chris Angel guy?
I'm David Blaine.
What about you, Big T?
Magic?
David Blaine or Chris Angel? One got to go.
I was never really a fan of either.
You're not a mind freak?
No.
You don't like Magic?
I don't like or dislike it.
Man, this is neutral about Magic.
Yeah,
it's at the fucking Magic show as a kid, like me.
Yeah.
I don't think so. Like when we had Oz Perlman, like with us, like that's cool. But if I could never watch it on TV.
I would actually say Oz he's probably number one.
He's probably the GOAT right now. Yeah. I think I take that back. He does some weird ass shit.
The stuff he does, he obviously is very good at whatever deception he's performing.
Right.
But I've never been able to figure out a single trick that he's ever done. Like
he just recently went on Rogan and guessed his PIN code.
Yeah.
And Rogan was kind of pissed off.
Yeah. That was crazy. He also like incepted him into thinking about Muhammad Ali and then had an envelope that was sealed shut with Muhammad Ali's picture in there.
Right.
Which is great. That it was like a little bit of deception too, because he was like, name any famous first famous person that comes to your mind. And Joe was like, Miles Davis. And then Oz was like, a lot of people I can tell that was not at the front of your mind. They think of one person and they think that's too famous. Then they think of the second person, and your second person was Miles Davis. And Joe was like, yeah, you're right. First person was Muhammad Ali.
Oh, he fucked him over.
But he kind of forced him into
saying somebody
changing
else.
It. Right. Yeah. So I again still have no idea
But if Rogan says like you're right.
Yeah. Well, I think that's like you can force somebody to.
But he could have just said no. That was the first person.
It's called cold reading.
Yeah. Now, Big T, I think Big T would never admit to thinking of somebody else. If you said Miles Davis, even if you had thought
I would tell the truth.
Would you?
Yeah, I mean, when he did it with us, like we didn't fucking,
Yeah, you were blown away.
So I did consider fucking him over.
Yeah.
And I knew I could have.
Mm-hmm.
I chose not to.
What were you gonna fuck him over with?
I don't want to reveal anything.
He was wrong?
Huh?
He was wrong?
No. No, he was 100% correct. He said, he was like, think of someone's birthday that I wouldn't know, whatever. So I thought of one of my best friends. And he was like, write their name and their birthday he handed me an index card, but there was a box drawn in the index card. He was like, write it in this box. I was like, well, fucking clearly. The box has something to do with it. I could write it outside the box, but I didn't. I wrote it in the box.
That you would not have been a good sport.
Yeah, I said I chose Joy.
The one that really fucked excuse me, the one that really fucked me up was when he asked me to think of like somebody I knew in my childhood that I haven't thought about in years, like a classmate that I had that I haven't thought about, and just think about their name. And then he eventually got that person's name exactly right. I didn't write it down.
I don't know how he does it.
It's kind of crazy shit.
I missed that episode.
You weren't there for that one?
Yeah, that was not. That was FOMO.
Dude,
Wait, really?
Yeah, I wasn't there for that.
it was wild.
Yeah.
Where were you?
I don't remember, man.
It was like 2020.
Yeah, it was like 2-3 years ago.
Yeah, it was a long time ago. All right, well that was Houdini.
'Twas indeed.
Anything else you guys want to get to today? Mad Dog McKenzie? Okay, Big T.
I don't think so.
All right, Aaron, you good?
I am good, man.
All right.
Hey, as we just wrapped up Spencer Schwellenbach complete game, good series.
Yeah, it's a good
Good
series.
series.
Yeah, Braves won. Played a good. I tried to make up for my emotional loss with the bet at the end, and I lost all my bets.
Damn.
You didn't take the parlay I gave you that hit in the 5th inning.
No, you didn't tell me to put it in.
I said I have this parlay. I sent it to you.
I was going, but
That
I don't
was
know
the
how to do. I
implication.
don't know how to do those. I'm
Well,
new.
then you should have asked.
I'm new to
Because
this.
it was a winner.
I'm
It's a
new
good
to
winner.
this. Not true to this. We gonna make it up though.
I'm going to take some of your U.S. Open picks.
So right now I got Colin Morikawa winning it, and I
Mhm.
got a 3-pick parlay. This is not gonna hit, but it'll be amazing if it does. Tony Finau, John Rahm, and Hideki Matsuyama in the top 10.
Okay.
Imagine that hits though.
Let's get after it.
I get $15,000 from it, from a $200 bet.
Let's get after
Put
it.
some good juju out there for your boy Macrodosing.
All right, we will see you guys next Tuesday on Nanodosing. Love you guys.